by we, I mean myself and Chucky, the one and only Chucky. The, what did I call you? The newly arrived expat. He's a part-time expat, kind of. Depends on what. It depends on his schedule or whatever. Anyway, right now I am at the La Mesa Coffee Company out here off Sukhumvit Soy 68, and I'm having myself a caramel latte. Chucky is having himself a Texan latte, which is like a double latte. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee Cup, all that good stuff. Now I got some notes here. Let me see if I can get it together before we start chatting with Tucky. Tucky? Mr. Tucky. Let's see here. All right. I'll give you the location here. Sukhumvit Soy 68.
How about a skillet?
That's his.
Yes.
Well, food came quickly. Here we go. Very nice. Thank you.
That looks good too.
There's Mr. Chuck. Boy, I don't even have time to say a word. The food is here. Look at
It looks
that.
good, huh?
That is the cowboy skillet.
I love your food. Your food, huh?
Remember how much it is? It's like
Oh, I didn't even
200 baht, I think.
I didn't pay attention to
And
the
then
price.
this is the huevos rancheros right there, and that looks really good.
Yeah, yours looks beautiful.
And a little FYI, Chucky, say hello to all the people. They miss you.
Hey everybody, I haven't been on the channel for a long time.
Yeah.
Scott banished me. I've been in jail. I've been exiled.
You've been banished.
I've been exiled for showing my butt crack.
Oh yeah, well,
No.
we'll have none of that today.
No, don't worry. He warned me before he went live. He said,
I never know with you.
Chucky, no butt crack.
No ass crack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, let me continue with what I'm doing here. Got a little bit too much light behind me, but that's all right. This place is great. Very, very nice place. And the owner, what's his name? Gary and Michelle. They are the owners, and they are Americans. And guess where they're from? New Mexico. Hence, La Mesa. The address, 7/2 Sukhumvit Soy 68. Very easy to get here. You can take the SkyTrain, get off at Udom Suk Station, and walk down the street a little ways, and just turn, well, you should be turning right into Sukhumvit 68. They're open right now. They're only open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Normally they're open from like 7:30 to 8, but because of the current situation, if you know what I mean, they've cut back a little bit, but they are going to go back to the old hours in due time. And you can, if you don't want to come here, you can always order they got great food. I mean, I'm just looking at it and my mouth is watering. But you can always get them. You can also place an order through Food Panda, Grab, Line. And this place has been around almost 4 years now. It opened in April of 2018. So before we get into talking to Chucky, I have to say, this live stream is supported by you people, you good people, at least the 80% that are good, 80-20. It's supported by you people through your contributions, through your viewing, through your purchases of my t-shirts, books, whatever. Everything's down in the description. It also helps if you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And Chucky, how is it?
It's really good. Excellent.
Chucky stole my
I
fork
feel
and
like I'm
knife.
in New Mexico right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear that.
You know, New Mexico is an amazing state. The beauty of it.
I used to live in New Mexico.
Oh, really?
I did. Didn't you hear me say that to him?
I heard you say something about New Mexico, but I
I
didn't
lived
hear
in
you.
New Mexico, 1980 to 1982. I lived
Oh,
there.
wow, a long time.
I lived in Alamogordo, New Mexico. And we used to travel all over. All right, this is shredded pork right here. Relax, Andy. We're going to get into all that.
Wow, that looks
Shredded
good
pork.
too.
Shredded pork with some egg. And there's some black beans and some nacho chips. Let me take a bite of this. You can watch Chucky make a pig of himself, but not me. Oh. It's been
See the sausage?
It's been quite some time since I've had this. Some sausage, yeah? How's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Chucky likes the sausage. You got that, did you?
Yes.
All right, so quick note, the Thai baht right now, 33.20 to the dollar, and it was under 33 for a brief period yesterday. 32.94 yesterday.
What's the highest it's reached? I mean, in the last
It hit
year or two.
34,
Oh, okay.
34 and a little bit over that. So, can you guys hear all right? Sound all right? We're using a little dual mic, so you can hear Chucky, you can hear me. You might hear me crunching into a nacho. Well, this is really good.
I was really hungry. I'm really glad they have like a real breakfast. Real breakfast here.
Yeah, I am too. And one of the things that I said about cafes, it doesn't have to be a full breakfast, but it does help to have that available. Just like, the menu is quite good here. It doesn't have 100 different things, which is fine. I don't need 100 different things to choose from. All it does is make my life more difficult. Look at this shredded pork.
Next time I'm going to come back and get yours. But mine's great too.
That's really good. You got the green sauce as well. Some sour cream and chives in there. Look at this. It's very, very good. This is the score of this place.
How's Richard doing? Is he on?
He's not.
Oh.
Now, let me show you something here. Let me just show you real quick. Just give you a little quick look here. That's the owner over there. Very nice place, very nice vibe to the place. And as I said, 2 Americans own this place. And what's nice is you can just jump on the SkyTrain and get here really easily. So I would say that when that SkyTrain finishes, the monorail finishes in Bangkok, I'll be making some trips out here. It'd be a little easier for me to come here.
Yeah, literally, the SkyTrain is like 100 meters or something like that. I mean, it's really close.
The station is not far from here. Now, Chucky,
Yeah,
you are fairly, how long have you been here now?
for about 11 days.
11 days. So tell us from start to finish about
Sure.
your experience getting in.
Sure. Well, I applied for the Thai Pass thing, and luckily I applied for it before they canceled it, so I was approved before it was canceled.
Right, you came in on the Thailand Pass.
Right. And I also have a visa too.
What do you mean? You got
I
a
have
retirement visa?
No, I got a 60-day
Oh.
tourist visa.
Now, the last time you got your retirement visa, did you get it in Thailand or did you get it outside?
Outside Thailand.
You did.
Yeah. And so I had to do that, which usually didn't require this, but they required a bank statement
Uh-huh.
for just a tourist visa, which I was shocked about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, they'd never done that before, ever. I think that's kind of weird to be doing in the middle of a pandemic if someone says they want to stay, you know.
Yeah.
But they can, you know, they can do whatever they
All
want
right,
to do.
so what did you have to do once you got all your paperwork? I mean, what was it like flying here?
Well, let me tell you a little bit more about the paperwork. When I first looked at everything you had to do, it felt like it was like really difficult to do, but it ended up being way easier than I thought. Like after I was done, I felt like, okay, that wasn't that bad.
Right.
Because you have to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You have to get the insurance. You have to get
What insurance did you get?
$50,000.
Travel insurance?
Yes, travel, COVID insurance. I really didn't pay attention to what it was. They just provide you with a website where you can choose, make a lot of choices.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
I
that's
just
good.
I just bought one. And it was $84 per month.
For 2 months.
Well, I had 84 times two.
Oh, okay.
If I stayed for
84
one
a month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just got that, and they approved everything really fast. I could ask them questions, and they answered back really fast in email.
Right.
But they were not taking any phone calls. But that worked out okay.
Yeah.
And I just got it approved. And then one day after it got approved, I found out that they, you know, canceled.
Do you know the name of the insurance company?
I don't recall.
You don't know.
I don't remember.
So what are you going to do if you extend?
If I,
Because in order to extend, you're going to still need insurance.
yeah, then I would just buy another month
Yeah, how are you gonna do that?
online.
Go back to the.
That
You
was
don't
actually-
remember.
Oh, I have it in my room.
Oh,
You know, yeah, I have it in my room.
And you forgot it. You didn't want to bring it.
Oh, I don't carry it around with
You
me.
didn't have that. You didn't have that information to bestow upon our viewers.
I'm sorry. So
Yeah, people are giving you shit for having 2 watches. You're a fashion icon wearing 2 watches.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing 2 watches, by the way?
well, I use this for fitness, right?
For fitness?
Yeah, you know, and your heart rate, it measures my heart rate
Yeah.
and my resting heart rate and everything. So that's why I use this. But I have a bunch of watches, and I didn't want to stop wearing my watches. Do you get what I'm saying?
You should talk to Longhorns about that. He's a watch guy himself.
Oh, okay. I don't have tons of watches.
Kind of like you. He likes those big old chunky watches. Chucky watches.
Yeah, it's a big watch. You know, when I was in Ceylon,
Yeah.
a lady boy came up to me and rubbed my watch and says, "Oh, I love your big clock. I love your big clock."
Can we get away from this kind of subject matter, Chucky?
Okay.
People want to know. People want to. I understand
Then I'll
that.
change it.
Yeah, you didn't have to bring up the lady boy about
A
that.
straight lady came up to me. A
Anyway,
bar
let's
girl
go
came
on.
up to me and said,
Listen,
"I love
they
your
wanna
big
know
clock."
They don't want to know about these. They want to know about. Do you remember the name? Was it AXA Insurance?
I don't recall.
All right. So tell us. Continue.
So I got the pass, and it worked out really easily. You know, it was really easy. But they do check. Like they check when you check in. They
check what,
in
that you
Los
have
in
everything?
LAX. Yeah, all of it, everything. Then they check you when you're at the gate. You have to wait up in another line at the gate, and the staff rechecks your documents.
This is LA, right?
Yeah, and then when I went to Japan to transfer, 2.5 hour stopover, Japan checked my documents again too.
Yeah. Well, Japan, they're sticklers.
But when I went to Thailand, they didn't check them. I mean,
Why
they just
would
asked
they?
me a couple.
If you got in, why would you
Yeah.
check?
Well, the immigration didn't. I was surprised. I was very surprised by that.
All right, so what about the testing?
I landed at midnight.
Uh-huh.
By 1:15, I was in a hospital getting a test very quickly afterwards. They had a driver, okay? And the driver takes you from the hospital, takes you from the airport to the hospital, from the hospital, waits for you, and then takes you to your hotel.
Uh-huh.
And the test was really fast, and I got the results 6 hours later, but I had to sleep anyway. So,
Longhorn says he got insure by, like insure by or whatever. And it was 6 months, $100,000 of insurance for about $312.
cool.
So he paid too much. Paid $84 a month. I was going to say that sounds pretty expensive.
I was in a hurry. And
There are multiple options. Do your research when it comes to the insurance. Always, when it comes to insurance, read the fine lines, the fine print, and Now I don't know. We always want to know the names of the barista here. I don't know their names, but there they are. It's not. I don't think it's beer and what the hell's her name? Tien or Prale. I don't. Who knows? They could all be named that. That could be their names, and it just by chance those are their names. Yeah, Chuck is older, so his insurance is going to be much more expensive because Chuck is much older than Longhorns. All right, so but what about the initial test to travel? They wanted to make sure you had that.
Yeah,
Was it 72 hours?
72 hours. I just scheduled that, and it's hard to get a test in the USA. I recommend be careful about that. Be really careful because it's hard to get a test in many states, many cities in the USA. But I found a company that did it, and they did it like clockwork in LA, and they did it perfectly. I had an appointment, went there. There was a line, like you drove up, and I got the results about 10 hours later because I was worried I wouldn't get the results fast enough, or I wouldn't be able to have an appointment. I just didn't want to show up randomly.
Okay.
And I got it.
All right. So then
that was easy.
You got the test. They checked all that stuff, and then when you got to Thailand, they did the test again. Now, have you had your second test yet?
I did.
When was that?
5 days later. That was 4 days ago, and they've ignored me, and they haven't contacted me at all.
So you're probably negative.
Yeah, that's probably what it means.
If you're positive, that means I'm going to be positive now because you're sitting right across from me. We don't have masks on. Although you never know because I've already been vaccinated and got a booster, and I'm strong. Mm-hmm. And
well, I've been vaccinated.
I don't give a shit about your little pansy ass Omicron virus.
Right.
Chucky, how old are you? 60?
59.
59. What month were you born?
March.
So you're about 7 months older than me.
Yeah.
Freaking old bastard. Old cranky bastard. All right, I was meaning to ask you, Chuck, because I'm sure some people don't know and they might be interested, but what brought you to Thailand? When was your first trip and what happened? Did you meet somebody and you fell in love and you decided to come back, or?
Well,
what happened? You fell in love with the country and the people? Chuck, wipe your face, please.
yes. So what happened is I went to Europe, right, in August of 1998.
Okay.
And I loved it. It freaked me out. It was like a 24-day trip.
Europe?
Yeah.
Okay, where in Europe?
Oh, I went to many places. I could tell you if you want, but it's a lot of places.
All right, just go.
Like maybe 10 hotels.
Okay.
So I did that trip, and then I was watching a TV commercial about sponsoring children for Children International. And I thought, oh, I'm going to sponsor a kid. And then I didn't select the country, but the country that got selected was in the Philippines, and they sent me a picture of the kid.
Interesting.
I thought, is this a real kid? So I called them up and I said, can I visit the kid? And they go, yeah. They said, yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
So I went there to see the kid. You have
Really?
to go with the social worker.
So now you take care of his kid?
Oh no, that finished already. That was a long time ago. But
He became of age and
Yeah.
became thanks to Chucky.
yeah,
Wow, that's nice.
yeah. I actually sponsored 30 of them.
I did a sponsorship of a kid many years ago. It had to be 1988 or something like that. A little girl from the Gambia. And it was only like $10 a month or something. And I felt so good about it. And they would send me pictures and little letters from her and stuff, you know. I didn't even think about going there. I was like, me go to Africa? Oh my God. No. Because, you know, I was a lot younger then and I had not traveled as much. And I was like, I don't think I want to go there. Gambia, I was like, where the hell is that at? You know, I do believe that that insurance does cover COVID hospitalization. That's what it's for.
Yeah,
It is.
It is.
You get the insurance so that it covers you in case you have COVID. My coverage is up to, I think, $1 million baht for hospitalization, and it's 100,000 for asymptomatic care. But I'm almost positive that if you got the insurance, you are covered for. They're not gonna. The whole reason for the insurance is for the COVID. Now, to cover the COVID, did you meet all 30 of the kids?
Yes, I have.
did?
Multiple times.
All 30 of them.
All 30. And
Wow.
I'll tell you some cool things what I did with those kids.
Now, where were they from?
In the Philippines,
All of them.
in Manila.
Wow.
So I wanted to inspire the kids. So I took them to many different field trips on the different times I went there. I took them to one television network, ABS-CBN,
Yeah, I know.
and
people from
and
there,
then
yeah.
GMA, I think
Right.
it's called. I gave them a tour. I took them to a radio station tour at WLS Radio with a
Oh, wow.
DJ named the Trigger Man, and he let me be a DJ on that station because I'm a DJ. I used to work at Kiss FM. So I took them to the tall volcano in Tagaytay. I took them to a candy factory. I took them to museums. Oh, I took them to the White House, but they call it something else, the Philippines White House.
Wow.
So I took them there, and I met Joseph Estrada.
How long ago was all this?
It started
When
in
was it?
1998.
And when did it end?
It ended about, because you don't sponsor them their whole, until they're 18. I think the sponsorship ends when they're like 14 or something. But I built them like 3 houses. But we're talking the houses were like $600 each. I bought them a well for their for water, and that was like $500. I bought them some pigs, and I came back and they had a bunch of them.
Really?
Yes, they had babies.
Yeah.
I spent like maybe, and I got my friends to help me, so it wasn't like I was just doing that, And so what happened is I went to the Philippines and I liked it, and then the first trip I went to the Philippines, and then I went to Tokyo just to check it out. The second trip, I thought, okay, I'm going to the Philippines again, but where do I want to go? And then I went to Thailand, right? And then when I got off the plane and I was walking around, I was like, oh my God, they're so hot.
Oh God! Can you spare us all that information?
Not the kids. I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Thais. The Thai girls were hot.
Did you sponsor any kids here in Thailand?
No, no. I just sponsored those kids.
Okay, so you came to Thailand, and what were your first thoughts as far as the culture and staying here and possibly living here? What made you decide you wanted to live here? And please don't say it was because of all the hotties.
Well, I would say that the advantage for me of Thailand is that it's a little bit cleaner than Manila. So honestly,
Yeah,
I think if it was if Manila was a little bit cleaner and better infrastructure, I could easily live in Manila.
Had you been to Cebu or Boracay?
Yeah, I've been to Boracay about 10 times.
And
I've been to Cebu about 3 times. Baguio,
I
Tagaytay.
like Cebu. I prefer Cebu to Manila.
Mhm.
But okay, so you like this place because it's a little cleaner,
Mhm.
but there still is a bit of grit here,
Yeah.
and so you like that. And,
Well, the air is
So now, when was this?
really bad in Manila.
And the air is starting to be really bad here in Bangkok.
I know.
Although today, I have to say, today the air quality here is 63,
I love it.
which is moderate, which is pretty good. So listen, Chucky, do you want a little piece of the pumpkin cheesecake or something like that?
I think I should.
Yeah, I think we should both get one.
What are the choices again?
Pumpkin
Let's-
spice.
I don't like pumpkin. So
Okay,
let's
well
get-
then, I don't know,
Is
ask
there-
them for the menu.
Yeah.
I'll take the pumpkin cheesecake.
Okay.
Could you tell them that for me,
Yeah.
please? Now, what's your,
Yes.
yeah,
I'll be back.
well, the mic.
Oh, the mic. Hang on. Hey, could I see the menu again?
Yeah, who knows? There might be so far this has been really good. The food's really, really good. And we're gonna have
So he wants pumpkin cheesecake.
Okay.
And what are the
Yeah, I
other
have to
types
try
of
it.
what are the other types of desserts like that?
We have like a New York style cheesecake.
Because I'm not into pumpkin. So
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know,
we
maybe
do
I'll-
a berry sauce and caramel sauce.
which page?
Let me see here. And we do
No, Chuck can not speak much Thai at all.
cheesecake. And our flourless chocolate cake is super good. It's almost
Which
like
one is it? Oh, the flourless
It's
chocolate
like
cake.
almost like a brownie. We serve with fresh fruits, so chocolatey.
Uh-huh.
And then the caramel banana bread is killer too.
Cool.
Caramel banana bread.
Yeah. We do a banana bread, then we top it with our own caramel sauce and fresh bananas.
I think that's what I'll have.
Okay.
I'll have the caramel cake.
Yeah.
And I'll have cheesecake caramel sauce.
Caramel sauce. Okay, can do.
Cool.
There we go.
Say hi.
Sounds good to me.
Are you guys
This
live
is,
now?
Yes,
we are
we are
right here.
live.
This is the owner, Gary, and he's even got a tattoo. He loves his establishment so much. He's got a tattoo on his arm that says "La Mesa Coffee." He does really.
So Manila is actually improving. It's almost becoming livable, and the air quality improved a lot. It's still very dirty, but back about 20 years ago, it was insanely disgusting. I mean, it was just insane air quality.
Listen, there are places I could take you to some. I could take you to some places in Thailand that are just absolutely disgusting. You know, and the majority of places are not. I mean, you know, listen. If you
Where's
look out on
this
this,
I'm sorry, did you say the caramel sauce?
Yeah,
on the
caramel.
cheesecake?
Yeah.
like, you know, you look on the street here. All right, it's not perfect. It's not like, you know, immaculate, but it's pretty clean. But there are places, Klong Tui, there are canals, little canals all over the place that are absolutely disgusting. Even down near the mall, Bankabi, there are places there just, I'm like, what are they doing? You know, and I think all it would take is, you know, they get these people from like the prisons or whatever, and they make them clean up the roads and stuff like that. I would think that they could put something together with, you know, some engineers and some architects and stuff where they could build something to where they figured something out to be able to keep the place cleaner. They get some of these people, they, you know, and some volunteers, and then they clean up, and the place would look. I mean, you know, they really could do more. I think they could do more with Bangkok. You know,
But it's always improving. That's what I love.
Well, that's true.
And so is Manila. Manila's improving too. I think Manila's a viable place to live.
I wouldn't live there now.
It's getting better. It's really.
I wouldn't live there now.
It's getting better.
One reason
Well, with their
is-
president,
is-
he's crazy.
One reason is the crime.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I
I
like
feel
the fact that
I feel way
here-
safer here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you want to go out at night. My wife wants to go out. You know, for the most part, it's very, very safe. You don't have to worry about anything. So you know, but okay. So you came in, and now what was it that sold you on the place where you went? that's it. I love this place. I'm coming back. And then what was it that really locked you in and made you decide to move here, at least part-time?
Because of the new development and air
How things
quality
are-
that was better than Manila. Because if I wouldn't have known about Thailand, then I would have lived in the Philippines.
Yeah. I think the infrastructure here is what, for me, it makes things so much easier. If you want to go anywhere in Thailand, you can go.
Because of the new sky trains and getting around and
Yeah, especially listen. Once the sky trains are done, like in front of the mall and over in Ramkhamhaeng and in some of the other places, when they're finished, this is going to be a very extensive network, and it really is going to help get people around. They're very good about thinking about that. Now, the canal boats, they're disgusting.
it's crazy. I've never been on one.
Yeah, I know. Well, I tried to get you to go on one, you never have.
I'll go.
But okay.
Let's go now.
Well, we're
No,
not
I'm
going to
just
go
kidding.
right now.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, what they're talking about right now, and they've already done it on the Chao Phraya, but they're talking about electric boats on the Sansap Canal, which will help quite a bit. Because, and I've shown it to people several times, where when you look at the back of the boat and as it's driving up, they're using diesel. And they've got these massive engines, and it's just black smoke coming out of the back. Now, all that goes into the canal, and the canals, I mean, I don't know how these kids can go swimming in the canal, but it's pretty filthy. I think they need to clean that up, and I think that will help the image of Bangkok, at least aesthetically, So what made you decide I'm going to live here?
It happened gradually.
I'm going to pick up. Now, you still work.
Yeah, I still work.
You're not really retired in
No.
the traditional sense, but I think there's a lot of people that are they're starting to. And I was talking about this the other day. They're starting to work in a different fashion than the old normal, which was you pick a job, you go there, and if you really hate the place, maybe you get another job. Maybe you work 2 or 3 places in your lifetime. Maybe you work one place your whole life. You work there for 40 years. You go in at 8 o'clock, you punch the clock or whatever, or you're on salary. You work until 5 o'clock, and then you go home. That's starting to change a lot more, and you're an example of it. And as I am, when I first came here, I had a brokering company, a printing brokering company, and I just had one lady who knew about printing. And I would travel, and it wasn't only here. I would go to all kinds of places in California, Solvang, and what I would do is I would just use email to communicate with her. And then if I really needed to see something or check anything, we would fax each other. There wasn't none of this stuff where it was like, okay, I'm gonna send scans of everything. It was too slow back then. This is right when, like, it was still with Prodigy and AOL when they first started coming out. So in that sense, I think that's around the time when the shift started happening. But now it's in full gear right now. It's full speed ahead. People are starting, especially the pandemic has really changed things.
Way more people could come to Thailand and live here now. I mean, most of my friends work from home, and
Well,
I
that
have a
brings me
bunch
to-
of friends that are doing this in Mexico.
But that brings me to another question, which Mexico is a little different in getting in and also staying there, as is the places we talk about, Portugal, which I was just really doing some research yesterday on Portugal and their healthcare system, which is I don't want to say that it's better than here, because I don't really know, but from what I heard, it's quite good there. However, the insurance and their program there is better for expats. There is no real plan here for expats unless you are on the government scheme, the 30 baht scheme. And for retirees, that's not that good. In Ireland, in Portugal and Ecuador, they all have things like, you know, if you are an expat, you've been there a certain amount of time, you get insurance, and you can determine what level of insurance you want, how much you want to pay, and it's not that much, you know. So, Chuck, you stand corrected. Scott is speaking. I think I've let Chuck speak quite a bit today. What are you talking about? All you guys. Anyway, go ahead, Chuck.
No, I think he's saying I'm talking too much.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you are. That doesn't matter.
So yeah, I've been working at home for 26 years. A lot more people could do it. But I'm lucky because I don't work for a company. I have my own company.
Yeah.
And I only work about 6 hours a week.
Yeah, that is
So
good.
like last night I worked for an hour. And I work at nighttime because when it's nighttime here, it's daytime
Now,
there.
you're not usually up this early in the morning, though.
No, I'm not into the late groove
I'm
yet.
very surprised.
Other-
Listen,
usually I would say no.
I'm very surprised because, you see, I thought I gotta ask Chuck to come to this cafe here, meet me here. Just out of protocol, I need to see if he'll come here because people have been asking about Chucky and, you know, what's Chucky doing? But I kind of thought he's not going to come because I know you, and generally at 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, you might just be waking up. Or
I
you're not
usually
even
wake up
up.
at 11 or 12.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, well,
because of work.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but things are a little different now. All right, here comes
No,
our-
no. When I first arrive, I have a feeling of wanting to wake up early. So I haven't gotten into that late shift yet completely. So that's why last night I only slept 5 hours, but that's enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So if you wouldn't have invited me, I would have woken up at 10. But
Oh,
instead
I
I woke
got
up at 7.
I got it. Now, here comes our really, our nice cakes. What do we get? You got a cheesecake with
Yeah.
caramel, right?
Yeah.
Cheesecake with, that's him.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
this one is
Ah,
a
it looks
banana
so good.
bread.
Yes.
Can I have one of the more of these?
Yeah, one more Texan.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Oops, look at that.
Isn't that pretty?
That looks really good. It looks nice and fluffy, that cheesecake.
So what is yours?
Mine is a caramel banana bread,
Cool.
which, you know, I love cheesecake, but I figure I'll let you.
And you know what I like about this? It seems like it's a little bit bigger than like chain coffee places.
Yeah, like,
cheesecake.
I mean, like Starbucks.
Yeah, yeah.
They're-
It
they're,
seems bigger.
The Starbucks cheesecake is
Is
rather
it?
small.
Is it a little bit bigger? It looks bigger
It's
to me.
bigger than the
Yeah,
Starbucks, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's irritating to me when I get a small cheesecake
Well, and
or a
Starbucks,
dessert.
you know, they tend to, I don't want to say they stick it to you, but they make sure they get top dollar. All right,
Wow.
Chucky, you're up to bat. Let us
very
know how that
fluffy.
cheesecake is.
Oh my God! You know what? It tastes like it's homemade.
It is homemade. Everything's made here.
Oh,
on,
really?
On the
This
premises.
is homemade?
Everything is
Oh,
made.
it tastes like something like mom made or grandma
There
made.
you go. Well, maybe
Wow, it does
Gary's
not-
wife made it. I don't know. We'll
Wow.
have to ask him. All right, check this out. Here's my
I didn't know.
caramel banana bread. I don't know, man. This stuff is the bomb. It is very, very good.
Wow, this is really good.
It's light and fluffy and sweet and sticky.
Light and fluffy and sweet and sticky, huh?
Just like Chuck likes it. Very good. So I give high marks to this place.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Aside from, you know, I mean, if, you know, like 1,000 rats were to enter this place and start running around, then the rating might go down a little bit. But I don't see that happening. This place is very clean and
It's
nice vibe.
extremely clean.
And the food is good. And this is like, this bread is so nice.
The traffic was so light. I was 45 minutes early. I was, you know, it was like it took me 11 minutes to get here.
Really?
From Feel
Not
home.
many calories, no. Well, listen, I've been walking 8 kilometers a day, and I've been watching what I eat big time. Aside from when I go out and stream, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Chucky, you speak very little Thai aside from rock, juke noi, or whatever the hell it is you say.
Rock, not juke, juke.
Rock, not juke, yeah. Aside from that, you don't hardly speak any Thai. So I think up and all that good stuff. Do you eat local Thai food?
Yeah, I do. I love Thai food. I'm really lucky because I really love it a lot.
You like spicy stuff or what?
I like medium spice, not extreme Isan. It's just too much. It burns my tongue. I love the taste.
Andy is coming here. He's coming from Australia in 2 weeks from today. So, Chucky, you're going to be in charge of taking care of Mr. Andy.
Cool.
He's a newbie. He's never traveled anywhere in the world.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. He's a traveler.
Oh, I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I was worried, and a lot of people are worried, and it was so worrisome to people that the consulate, the embassy, their phone lines were busy for 2 days when they announced the cancellation. They are honoring people that are already approved.
Yeah, well, we know that.
But
Now
for a while, we didn't know. And I was scared, like, am I going to be able to go? I just got on the plane and I
And I
went.
like to have a whole loaf of this banana bread. It's so good, but you know what? Good banana bread and good carrot cake and good cheesecake. I mean, it's always nice to have that. Now, if it's mediocre carrot cake or cheesecake, or especially banana bread, you get some of that cheesy banana bread. Then you might as well give it a pass. But this stuff is really good. You make all this at home, in-house, right?
Yeah. My wife
Fantastic.
does all the baking.
Wow, it tastes like, because I didn't
Really,
know.
really
I didn't
good.
know. So when I started taking a bite, I thought, it tastes like homemade. Is there grandma in the back?
Yeah, this is actually my wife's, it's based off of her grandmother's recipe, actually.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
The
Cool.
banana bread, yeah. Those are Texan, and this is
That's
our
fantastic.
Santorado. You guys can taste.
What's
This
this
is
called?
We call it the Santorado.
Santorado?
So it's a shakerado drink, so we shake up coffee with the apple cider reduction.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's kind of like if Santa visits Bangkok for Christmas, what do you want to have as like a refreshing drink?
Wow, it's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
This is like a gourmet
Boutique.
boutique coffee place, you know?
It's a little boutique coffee place. Thank you, Chuck. This is very good. It is refreshing. Apple, cinnamon.
I feel like you're Elmer Dills. Most people don't know who Elmer Dills is. You know who
I've
he was?
heard of him. I don't remember.
Remember that food critic that used to be on KABC radio and KABC TV?
Oh, the guy on TV. Yeah, Elmer Dills.
Long time ago.
He's dead now, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Long time ago.
That's really good, huh?
He's probably the most famous food critic in LA, Los Angeles history. Channel 7, 8 KBC TV and 790 KBC radio. Only an
Yeah,
LA
well,
person would
me
think
so
my
hungry.
con-
You obviously don't know much about Thailand, where many of the coffee shops buy from a few different places. And, all the cheesecake, like the Starbucks, they buy from everything that they buy is from the same manufacturer. Oh, Gennaro says he remembers Elmer Dill.
Oh,
I remember there was a lot of them that used to be in LA. A lot of people that were from LA, they were newscasters. Jim Lampley used to be on with Bree Walker. I think
Yeah.
that was his wife at one time.
yeah, they got married.
And of course they got divorced.
Yep.
80-20, only 20% stay married now. Chucky is having at it with this cheesecake.
Oh, I love it.
You know what? If I had saved a piece, I would ask you for a piece, but
I wish this place was really close to where I live.
yeah, well, all you have to do is jump on the SkyTrain. Is that what you did?
No, I took a taxi.
Chucky takes a grab everywhere. Do you know, Chuck, that there is another service now.
I didn't use Grab.
In driver, what'd you use?
Just a regular taxi.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't even know where I was going, but I told him I have Google Maps, and he said, okay.
This is really good. That cheesecake looks so good, I might have to get a piece. Just to try it for the stream. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I want to say something about where to stay and price. Okay?
Okay, go ahead, Chucky.
I'm not saying this is going to be your situation, but this is just for me. Okay?
Uh-huh.
I think anyone watching and listening
Hello, Patsy and Bob.
should not assume that what I experienced is the way it's going to be for them.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to pay the super high price for the, what do you call that kind of hotel? Quarantine hotel?
The ASQ?
Right, so I only booked a ASQ hotel for one night. And when I landed, that's all I had. I had no other booking because I didn't want to book unless I got in. I was nervous about that.
Yeah, but I thought that they make it, because you were in the time and pass. You were on the time and pass.
Right.
Oh, now, I have to say, Chuck, I just checked yesterday. There are tickets to Phuket. My wife is going to Phuket next month. And she did say to me, maybe you should ask Chuck to go. That way I'm working and I'm with my girlfriend. She's going to some temple down there for something as well. And she said, maybe you and Chucky can go hang out somewhere. So if you want to go to Phuket next month, we'll talk after the stream.
Yeah,
we can talk about
definitely.
going there. The tickets are pretty cheap and everything like that.
So the immigration officer,
I'm gonna get a piece of that cheese.
he said to me, he said, "Oh, you only have one day booked?" And I said, "Yeah, that's it." He said,
But that's all you need.
"Okay." So
That's all you need.
I didn't
because
have
you
a
were on the time and pass.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got approved and I got out of customs, I opened my phone to the app and booked the
Yeah, but you didn't
hotels.
even- well-
But I'm only booking 1 week at a time, so I don't have the whole trip. But other people may not be able to do this.
Thank you very much, Sky Trooper. Sky Trooper says have some cheesecake. So because he said so, I'm gonna have to have a piece of
It's
cheesecake.
so damn good.
I'm gonna have to try a piece of cheesecake.
It's freaky. It's great.
This place is near Udom. Yes, you can take the BTS station, just get off at Udom Suk, and then walk. It's just a little ways down to Sukhumvit Soy 68, and you just turn right, and it's about I don't know, maybe 50, 100 feet down on the left-hand side. Very, very easy to get to, which is all, it's a benefit. If the place, to me, this is almost a perfect location. It's not the kind of place where people, like the last place that I went, where people are running in and out, and it's right there on the main drag, and there's lots of noise, and there's, lots of activity, and you don't know if you're going to get a seat. Now, this place does fill up, depending on the time and everything, but it's just far enough back from Sukhumvit where it's not some place where a lot of people are just going to run in and, let me grab a coffee real quick. It's not that kind of a place, Hey, thanks a lot there, Patsy and Bob. Thank you, and Chucky to you and to Sky Trooper. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I am gonna get that. That cheesecake looked too damn good. I might have to walk tonight to try to get rid of some of it. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's a really, really good location. Now, this is a different ambiance here than the place that I like so much. The place I like, the Voodoo Cafe that I like out in Nongchok. It basically so far has been the coolest and probably the best place that I've ever seen in Thailand as a cafe/restaurant or cafe. Yes, it is the La Mesa Coffee Company, and but this place has a different vibe. That place has the outdoor thing, and it's predominantly Thais, and they have a lot of the memorabilia, the nostalgia, so it makes it kind of a cool place. This place is cool because it's a coffee shop, you know, but they've got the whole southwestern vibe going on, and it's you know, it's clean. I like the clean, as they say in photography, clean lines, and I like that, you know. So, is Scott talking to us or to Chuck? Chuck not interested in comparing coffee shops. Well, I don't know why Chuck would be interested in comparing coffee shops, although he can.
I don't know.
Yes, Chuck's look is reminiscent of Leave It to Beaver. You kind of look like Wally. Hey Ward, don't you think
I met Wally before.
Ward, don't you think you're being a little hard on the beef?
Scotty's always been a little hard on Chucky. Little bit.
Yeah, I guess. I gotta get this cheesecake.
But also I'm being a little bit hard on him. If you want to be able to irritate Scott, all you have to do is talk about ladyboys and then he'll get irritated.
It's just like, why? You know, it's not that you irritate, it's like, what's the sense? It's like talking about, oh, how many shits did Biden have today? Who cares? I don't care. Cook up, cod, cheesecake, ignorant. Then cup caramel, the same one as he has. Can I have one of those?
Yeah.
Thank you. I gotta try it out. Scott and Chuck, are you visiting Pattaya in this Chuck's trip? I don't know yet.
What's it like? Do you know? What do you know
You've never
about
been
it?
to Pattaya?
Oh no, I've been there. What's it like as it relates to COVID?
It's fine, aside from, you know, I don't know what the tree town is like right now, but it's fine. I mean, it's just like everywhere else.
Hey, I wanted to mention something about Siloam,
Yeah.
where the go-go bars and everything. Many of those go-go bars are literally gone. Like the buildings are torn down.
Really?
Like they're rebuilding. I mean, it seems like that area, you know, for prostitution is dead.
Uh-huh.
Like not just because of the pandemic, but because of real estate development.
Uh-huh.
It seems like it's not going to be there at all.
Listen.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that eventually Bangkok and the other parts of Thailand are going to revert, or they're going to head in the direction of the woke PC mentality. I think it may take some years, but they're headed in that direction slowly but surely. I think they'll get to be where people will be going, why are these girls, you know what, they could just work online and you know, show their tits or something and talk to guys and they'll make money. Why would they go and sell their asses unless they, you know, really, really want to? I mean, really, I think that's the direction we're headed now. The internet has changed the world in many, many ways, and that's just one of them. Now, Gennaro and many other people are saying Pattaya should be, we should take a Pattaya trip, you and I. Now, Pattaya Bob is there, and he is the Pattaya guide. I guess from the last time that I was there, things are even better, and there's more people and everything like that. But we could go there for like a night, just one night, leave in the morning, come back the next afternoon. I'm game for that.
Cool.
You know, just because, just to go down to the beach. I'll do anything to go by a beach, even in Pattaya. Pattaya Bob Scott, I'll volunteer to drive you. See, thank you very much, Pattaya Bob. We'll all discuss this after the stream. I know Chuck is dying to go there.
Yeah, I haven't met him. I haven't met Pattaya Bob.
Pattaya Bob and I, we go to places like Tree Town. Maybe Chuck needs like the all-male review kind of place. I don't know. I don't know what he's after there, but it'd be nice just to go down, you know, get away from Bangkok for the day. And also we are, like I was saying earlier, we're talking about Phuket. Although I'm just not. I don't know what I got to gain from going to Phuket. I mean, I used to live there. I've been there. I don't know how many times in the last 2 years. 2 times, and you know, like my wife was saying, well, go to a coffee shop, good coffee shop. I know someplace. Go down and go on a river. You know, on a what do you call it? Go kayaking. Do something. There's plenty to do there.
You know what? I can't do kayaking because of my hip. It might be have you done it? I mean, I could do it. I know how to do it, but if I'm in the kayak too long, it starts hurting. It's al-Rahman. See, I can say something in Thai.
Aren't you nice? I like that apple thing. All right,
Yeah.
let's take a look at this here.
Oh, this cheesecake is freaking me out.
Oops.
It's so good.
Here we go. Look at that. That looks so good. All right, this is I have to tell you that I did not see this. In fact, I made a list. I made a list of cafes that I was going to go to. This is not on that list. I had a list of about 50 cafes. This was not on the list.
How'd you find out about
I
it?
just was looking yesterday because I thought, I left my paper in the drawer, in my desk drawer, and I thought, you know, maybe my computer, because I was on my computer doing some things, and I thought, well, it will probably save the places that I looked. But I found some other link, and I just went on there, and I go, oh, look at this. And then I saw it, and I went, oh, this is, and then I was like, oh, Sukhumvit, Soy 68, pretty good location, you know. Let me fix this real quick. A cheesecake tour, there you go. That's not fair to Carlos, though. Carlos in Pattaya he loves cheesecake. But man, I love this, how it just drips off the side. Mm-hmm. This,
Yeah, it's great. You know, I find something really interesting about cheesecake more than any other dessert. Because of the cheese, it gives your sugar rush an extra punch. Do you feel like that from cheesecake? Like it puts it into your system stronger or something?
I'm going to say that this cheesecake is better than the chocolate fudge or whatever the cheesecake I had at the Voodoo Cafe. This cheesecake is actually better, and it's because of the texture of the actual cheesecake.
It is. It's really good.
It's fantastic, really. The caramel helps too. I love caramel. Who doesn't like caramel? And they got little drops of caramel on the side here. So if you want a little. This, I'm going to say, is the best cheesecake I think I've ever had.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
You think the same thing?
Yeah, it was a surprise because I'm used to eating so much from chains like Starbucks, and when I took a time to taste, I thought, whoa.
High praise coming from me. I think this is the best cheesecake I've ever had. It's that good. Good call. Good call to go ahead and have a second cake, dessert, whatever. It's fluffy and dense and creamy.
So I've had one slice of that, and I've had 2 lattes. So right now I feel very wired.
Chucky's amped up.
I'm amped up.
This is the amp Chucky.
It's good. It's really
This is
good.
so good.
So what other kind of changes do you see going on and happening in Thailand? compared to
Well,
like what I
actually-
talked about in Ceylon.
Actually, let me ask you the question,
Sure.
because you've been out for a while. So like with me, I see some changes, but I'm in the middle of it. I don't always see everything, you know. But what about you from the last time you were here to now?
Well, overall, in the last 4 or 5 years, I'd say all of the people that are like under 27 are way more independent thinkers, and that has an impact on the politics and like
It hasn't had
the
much-
monarchy. Like they're not afraid to.
No, but it hasn't really had an effect on the politics yet.
No, it hasn't had an impact as far as who holds the power, but it's about how they think. So, example, I find now that people, like waiters, will talk to me about the monarchy in a very professional way, like in a public setting. You know, like a waiter will talk to me, like what they
Yeah.
like this, they don't like that. Before,
Well,
they wouldn't talk like that
do
at all.
know that in many movie theaters, people are not standing,
Right.
right? You know
Right.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big change, and it really is the people that are 33. They're still old school. All of a sudden, something happened with this younger generation where they don't see they're behaving and thinking kind of like they're
And do you think
Thai-
this is going to
Thai-
benefit Thailand and its visitors?
Oh, it's going to benefit them. It may not benefit the visitors because eventually prices will go up for visitors.
They're already going up.
Yeah, but for them, I think that Thailand will become a
Now, do you
first world
notice-
country.
Do you notice the difference in prices?
Yeah, but also I like the ability to get 33 baht instead of 29. So for me, it's balancing it out. Because
When
when
was
I
the
was
last
here
time
before,
you were here?
it was
When
29.
was the last time you were here? A couple years ago?
March.
So it's, wow. 2019?
Yeah, I left here March 29, 2020. So it's coming up on 2 years in March, at the end of March. And when I left, it was 29, and now it's 33. So for me, I can see that the prices went up,
33.2.
you know, but I
Today.
but I'm feeling like a sense of like relief because it's way more expensive in LA.
Well,
Way more. So I still feel like everything's really cheap to me.
yeah,
And the
I think
hotel
that's-
prices went really low, you know.
For now, the hotel prices are low. I think that, you know, when you start to say, oh, well, compared to this place, it's much cheaper. I think the difference in the gap, the amount of difference, how much cheaper is narrowing. I don't know if you know, but there's been a huge increase in pork prices. And it's not only that, there's beef prices, all kinds of prices have gone up. But you know, the things like labor, apartments, hotel prices, they're still relatively inexpensive compared to anywhere else. But some of the prices are starting to catch up, you know. Well, Patsy Bob might be able to tell you about the condo prices. You can still get condos for pretty, for reasonable prices. But if you want something really, really good, you're gonna pay. That's how it works here. You know,
That's how it works everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah. You know, you want quality, you gotta pay. In Thailand, when you want something that's really high quality, you're gonna pay, and it may be more money than you pay somewhere else, like in the United States.
Right. Well, real estate prices in Bangkok Central are more expensive than most cities in the USA. Not more expensive than New York or San Francisco or LA, but you know, square footage wise or square meter, you know, Las Vegas or Phoenix, Arizona, or St. Louis, Missouri, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, places like that are way less than Bangkok Central real estate. Way less.
Yeah, that's a thing.
But I see Bangkok real estate going up even more. I see Bangkok real estate reaching the prices of like Tokyo and Hong Kong. I see this.
Maybe.
I see this country in 20 years being like a first world country, economic
Yeah, I mean,
similar. To,
I don't have a problem saying I agree with that. But I think the prices are gonna go up
oh yeah,
in the next couple of years. It's gonna, the difference is gonna be negligible. It already is getting there. I'm sorry, I got my mouth full of this cheesecake, which is just, I'm sorry that I'm almost finished with it because it's so damn good.
well, how much was it? How much?
I think this is $160.
Can I ask you a question? How much was this Texas latte? How much was it? How much?
180.
Oh, okay. So that would be, you know,
It's a little under $6.
yeah, and that's about the same it would be in the USA.
Well, coffee is
But that's a
one of
coffee.
the items that is the prices are very close to places in the United States or
Right.
elsewhere. And definitely coffee, but coffee, you know, is I mean, you know, that's the norm. Latest iPhone, an iPhone that is 13 Pro or something goes up to, and it's like
Oh, okay,
140, yeah.
Cool.
Sorry. There's the prices here.
it's
cool.
and it has like 128 or 250. What is it? I think the most expensive one is like 40,900 baht, which is a lot.
That's the USA price.
Yeah, exactly. It's USA price. That's what I'm saying. You're not
Yeah.
getting any discounts here.
No, and there's a lot of things that are more expensive. If you want to buy a BMW 7 Series in America, it's like 120,
Well,
and it's like 350 in
That's
Thailand.
the thing with cars because of the import duties. They just, you know, they do that for a reason. They don't want you importing cars, and if you are, you better have the money to do it. You know.
And even like, let's say you buy a pair of Nike shoes, right? And they're $100 in the USA. In Thailand, they're about 130, 140.
Yeah, I mean, I said that with regards to Casio watches. Some guy goes, you know, you can go out on the street and buy a Casio watch for like $9, man. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get like the lowest quality piece of shit Casio watch. There are Casio watches that are $1,000. You know, now granted, the average one might be $300, $400, $500. Depends on the model and everything like that. You could get one for 5,000 baht, even 3,000, and they're decent. They're not fantastic, but you go back in the United States, it's the same price. There's not a huge difference. So I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to get. The increase in prices is one reason to visit Thailand as soon as possible, because by the time I retire, it may be too expensive to live there. There are people that are saying already that Bangkok has become too expensive for retirees because it's an expensive place to live.
But it's still way less than the USA.
Listen, I was going to get an apartment many, many years ago on Asok and Sukhumvit, right down the street from Sukhumvit. It was 20,000 baht. That was 23 years ago or something. That place right now is probably 35,000, something like that. So it's gone up quite a bit.
But guess how much it would cost in LA?
I understand.
It would cost over 100,000 baht.
Yeah, I was going to say about $3,000.
Yeah.
So,
So real estate to me is about 70% less than LA, 75% for renting. Taxis are about 80% less than LA.
well, taxes is another thing.
Groceries, taxis. Groceries are about 20% less here.
It
than-
depends on what you're buying. It really
Well, if you're buying some American brand that's highly import taxed,
buy cheese.
you're buying like Skippy.
Yeah, buy peanut butter. But, you know, like first of all, just on principle alone, when I see peanut butter that's made in China, and you know it's like Jiffy. What is it, Jif? Skippy, whatever the hell it is. When I see peanut butter like that that says made in China, and there's another one made in the United States, I'll pay more just to get it from the United States, just because of how I feel about China. Just to spite China, you know. It's my little way of rebellion, the Chinese rebellion. But yeah, I mean, obviously anything that's imported is going to cost more. But sometimes you need to get that. There are things you want to eat that are imported. I know Jono is a perfect example because he's always buying Italian food or stuff to make Italian food, and he wants what he wants, particular brand of, flour or cheese or something like that. And you know what? He's willing to pay more to get what he wants than to get what he views as an inferior product. And that's how I feel. I mean, think about it. You want to get a pair of headphones here, and many brands of like headphones or wireless headphones, they're made in China. Damn near every one of them is made in China, right? But they have different grades. You can buy the little piece of shit that's 99 baht, and that thing will probably fall apart in a week, a couple of weeks, or it might stop working. You buy something else. You buy the Apple headphones. They haven't stopped. The ones that I have, they didn't ever break down and stop working. I get myself a little pair of headphones made in China. So it's about what do you want, how much you're willing to pay, and what is the value. And that's the one thing about Thailand, that word value. Thailand is still a better value than many other destinations. And that's why people want to come here. However, if they start charging too much for certain things or for visas or whatever, I think less people will come because they want the value. And if what the hell was I going to say? Just blanked out. That's why you're here.
Well, I forget things too, so.
Yeah, but you're an old man. You're much older than I am. It's all about the value,
Yeah, but think about this. As far as all of us around the world, our most expensive, most of us, our greatest expense is living, housing. In Thailand, that's like 70% less than like Los Angeles. That's a good deal. The other second biggest expense is transportation. If you don't own a car here, it's really cheap. Take a taxi and the SkyTrain.
And there have been times that my wife and I have said, maybe we should just get something, whatever. Monash, there you are, long time no see. How you doing? We've thought about it many times, and I'm like, you know what? I just can't justify it here because I can call somebody up and have them come pick me up, and maybe I spend a little more every month, but I don't have to worry about maintenance. I don't have to worry about having an accident. I don't have to worry about petrol. I don't have to worry about the car itself. What happens when the thing takes a shit? I'm not talking about oil and all that kind of stuff. And just overall, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. And if I'm living out in the middle of nowhere somewhere, I might be more apt to get a motorbike, or just a small little, like a little Mini Cooper type size vehicle, or just even like a little Toyota Hilux, something like that.
Well, see, for me, I would not buy a car because I always live within a 10-minute walk to the SkyTrain. Usually only 4 minutes. So,
where have you been in Thailand?
I've been to Phi Phi Island. I've been to Phuket. I've been to Koh Samet. I've been to Pattaya, and I've been to Ayutthaya, and I've been to Udon Thani, Khon Kaen, Korat, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Golden Triangle.
And how many days have you spent in those places at each visit? A couple?
Between 3 and 5, full 5.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually.
You know, some of those
So
places.
I don't know it as well as you, but I know it more than some people.
Well, you know, knowing it, you know, obviously it helps to know an area, but you know, in some places, for me, it's about the convenience. Would I want the convenience to jump on a little motorcycle and go, oh, I'm going to go, it's 10 minutes by motorbike, instead of having to wait for some guy all the time? Or if you're leaving early, is there going to be somebody there? I got to tell you a little story. One of my stories. All right. Can we talk? Who used to say that? You remember?
Saturday Night Live.
No.
No, what?
Joan Rivers.
Oh, that's right.
You forget old
I
Joan?
was on the Joan Rivers
That
show.
old bat? Really?
In the audience, yes,
Oh,
it's crazy.
in the
but
audience,
no,
okay.
but I said something really crazy on there. The topic was about circumcision
I don't want to know.
with Dr. Dean and
I don't
Dell.
want to know. Now you made me forget what the hell I was going to tell.
I'm sorry.
What
Okay.
were we on the Thai people tend to buy? Shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
Ask the audience.
You do that to me all
Ask
the
the
time.
audience. What was he about to
They
say?
have no idea because I didn't get into it. It was a story, and now I forgot what the hell it was.
Okay.
Onset of dementia. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Oh yeah, motorbike waiting for a driver. All right, listen.
Yes, yes.
My wife and I, because we've been doing the whole, you know, it's been about 3 weeks now. We've been going for a walk almost every day. And what we do, we could walk to the park, but it's about a 30-minute walk to the park and a 30-minute walk back. Now we walk an hour and a half at the park, okay? We don't want to walk 2.5 hours because it just takes up too much time. It's not that we can't do it or we won't do it. It has nothing to do with it. Sometimes we walk back. But in the morning, we go out and like she and I are like, we need to be out the door at 5 o'clock. Because then we'll be to the park at like 5 or 10 minutes after 5. And it's still dark when we're finishing up. The sun is just starting to come up. It's not hot. There's not that many people. There's all these runners that come. And I've already told the story about how you get sometimes 4 or 5 people running together. And they're not just running. To me, if you're going to run, shut your pie hole. You don't need to be yapping while you're running. Mm-hmm. You run. You concentrate. You focus on running. Boom, 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 boom. Now that's what I used to do.
I can't run and talk at the same time.
Well, some people can. So anyway, what I was saying is, listen, sometimes 5:30, 6 o'clock, you got these old men out there running, they're jogging along, and I can hear them from 100 yards, 100 meters behind me. I can hear them talking about, you know, this happened and that happened, and I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, it's so peaceful, the birds are chirping, it's the light is yet to come up, and these people are yapping away. Anyway, so we try to leave outside the door, at 5 o'clock. That way we get the motorbike. Now, how many motorbikes do you think are out at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Not many.
Okay.
Or none.
Now, generally, there's 1 or 2. Sometimes one will take me, drive back, pick her up, and then take her. So that's fine because I just stretch out a little bit, get ready. But sometimes there's a couple. Now, that's great too. However, there tends to be one guy who I'm not going to state his motorbike number, his vest number, and that my wife's already told the kids, if this guy drives up, don't take him. The armor on the freaking seat, okay? You know, and the thing's already slick. This thing is so slippery. You get on, and
Oh my God.
you almost slide off the goddamn.
That's scary.
So what happened, and then, you know, the guy is a bit of a, how shall I say, a dumbass. He's a bit of a knucklehead. It's like a red light and the guy just goes right through it and you're like, what the fuck? And this happened to my wife as well. We saw the guy pull up and I told her, this freaking guy, there's nowhere to grab onto the bike, right? There's nowhere to, Chucky, Focus.
I'm focused. I'm focused.
My story's not that riveting.
No, I'm living.
Anyway, the guy takes me the first time. I'm trying to hold on at the back of the bike. Now, generally, there's a little spot where you can grab on. You don't take motorbikes, I know, but you can generally grab onto the back. And even if it's uncomfortable, for a short ride, it's not a big deal. But this guy's seat was so slippery that I felt like I was going to slide off. And if you stopped, it was like you slid on the seat. And I didn't really have any place to hold on to because for whatever reason, his brand of bike just didn't have that spot. This guy hits a bump and I almost fall. I mean, I was like on my way off and I like latched onto the in front of me. I was riding a bull. I grabbed on
Did
it
you
the
hug
last
him?
second.
Did you hug him?
No, and he actually said to me, "Put your arms around me."
Ooh.
And I looked at him and I go, "No,
Scotty,
put my arms around
just go
you."
for it.
And so, he's a little bit perturbed because I almost flew off the bike. And I'm like, "You're the one who armor-rolled the fucking seat, you dummy." We get there, here's your money. I give him. The next day he pulls up again. I tell my wife, "I'm not taking this fucking guy. You go with him." So she goes, "This guy's, he's lagging behind. My driver had left, and she's still, he's driving pretty slowly." But what she said was, he doesn't look. He just drives onto the street. He doesn't look to see if there's a car coming. We get to the red light. I pay my driver. I look over. I go, "Where's my wife?" The guy drove across traffic. Now, there's no green light. He's not supposed to be driving across traffic. He drives and goes the wrong way. Traffic's coming this way. He drives this way on the road. What the fuck is this guy doing? I go, "Why doesn't he just drive into the park like he's supposed to?" My wife goes, "What the Bo, she's pretty mellow most of the time. At least with other people, not always with me." But when it comes to a motorbike driver, she generally tends to be, pretty mellow. She comes over to me, she says, what the fuck is with this guy?" She's like, "This guy almost killed me. She's driving out in the middle of the road." And I say, "You know what?" I go, "I can only attribute it to one thing. He's got to be high as fuck on something. Either that or he's a dumb shit. He's a chowderhead." And that's what you have to worry about here. Because I was thinking to myself, if I take this guy, either I'm going to die or I'm going to get pissed off at this guy and I'm going to end up getting so mad I'm going to fucking crack him because he's putting my life on the line. When you go on those taxis, any motorbike taxi, first of all, generally we don't take them. I mean, I take them like right down the street or something, and I know the drivers, but this guy's a new guy. Those are the ones you don't want. So tip for the day, first of all, don't take a motorbike unless you have to. Second of all, if you're gonna take a motorbike, make sure the guy doesn't smell like whiskey or booze. You take him. Monash. Yeah, because I told my wife, you take the guy, I'm not going with him. Because I thought, she's smaller than me. She probably won't have as many problems, on the seat. But she actually told me, she goes, "The seat was so fucking slippery." She's like, she's wearing her little skin tight little legging things, but the chicks wear, what I'm talking about, the little spandex thingies. She's on there and she's like, I had to hold on for dear life. And I'm thinking, if the guy tells her to put her arms around him, like, what am I supposed to think? This guy, oh, that's the way to do it. You put your arm. The girls don't do that. They sit, they sit on this. They turn their ass, and they sit with their legs on the side of the motorbike.
And that scares the shit out of me just watching them do that.
Yeah, well, Chucky's adventurous, but he's a little fearful. He's a little bit of a fraidy
No,
cat.
I'm a logical person. I know the numbers. Bangkok has the #1 death rate in the world. #1 death rate in the world. It's more dangerous. It's more dangerous to ride a motorbike here than COVID, and it's way more dangerous than going to Afghanistan.
And they don't put really many restrictions on the driving here. It's like if you can drive a plow out in Con Can and drive a Buffalo, you can come here and you can, get your license and start being a taxi driver almost right away. That's about the only thing, and that's one reason why if somebody's a Grab driver, you know, I'm going to take a Grab taxi. He's got 5 stars. He's got, 3,000 reviews or whatever. You're like, okay, this guy's probably pretty good. You know what I mean? But like, if you just go on you just stick your thumb out on the side of the road nowadays, and that's the thing. I haven't had a problem with a taxi driver in a long, long time. Where I was like, could you turn left, please? Please turn left, turn left, turn left. And then it's, like he doesn't turn left, and it's like, it's going to take me another 20 minutes because he's got to go all the way around somewhere. In the meantime, he's getting an extra, 100 baht or 150 baht, which is great for him. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I have to pay you, you dumb fuck? I'm the one who told you where to turn. I love it when the motorbike taxis go between buses. Yeah, actually, I had my foot. Luckily, I had my tennis shoes on. That I was going in between cars with the motorbike driver. He was going in between, and there was the cars were a little bit too close together, and I don't know how it happened, but he just kind of leaned over a little bit, and my foot hit the side of the car, and it pushed my foot back, and I was like, son of a bitch, And then like later on, when I went home, even though I had my tennis shoe on, my trainer on, I looked and my foot had a scrape on it and a bruise. So sometimes it pays just to get into an actual taxi.
That's why I recommend people take a taxi, sit in the front seat, wear a seatbelt, but also, yeah, because you can wear a seatbelt if there's no seatbelt in the back.
Wear a seat in the back. They have them in the back.
Some do.
Yeah, most seem to now.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Because it is the law, you're supposed to wear a seatbelt.
And then live really close to the SkyTrain or subway.
Yeah, but not everybody wants to live in Bangkok.
Well, I'm saying if you're
I'm
living
one
in
of those people.
if you're living in Bangkok, but I like big city lifestyle. I'm the kind of guy that would love to live overlooking Times Square. So that's Bangkok suits me well.
So is
Hong
that
Kong.
your advice? Is that your advice? Yes, Monash is 6'3". So his big old gangly knees are sticking up in the air, so he's got to worry about that, and that's not good when you're on a motorcycle. So is that your advice to people who wish to travel here and to those who wish to move here?
Oh, if you're
What's
traveling,
your advice?
stay at a hotel that's right next to the SkyTrain. Your life will be great. Like yards, meters away, like a 4 or 5 minute walk.
Uh-huh.
You can go anywhere at any time really fast, almost everywhere.
Last time I was in Bangkok, Grab driver rear-ended a car in front. I was near my destination and just got out. Yeah, there was a time when I used to go back and forth from my house in Lat Phrao, my old house in Lat Phrao, near Waitini Hospital in Pink Cloud, where I was working, and there was traffic, and it's about 2 hours each way, hour and 35, 40 minutes to 2 hours. I used to do that every day. I'd leave at, say, 12:30. I'd get there. We'd all go out and have an espresso before we started the training for the day and all that stuff. And then right afterwards, as soon as we were done, I'd go in the taxi, and I would, in many cases, I would fall asleep in the back of the taxi. Just make sure the guy knew exactly where to go, and I just would nod off. But one time I nodded off, and the guy rear-ended somebody, and I was asleep, and I ended up flying through the middle of the, in between the seats, and I was kind of like half upside down, half on my shoulder. Mm-hmm. And the guy was, I'm sorry, and then he went outside and they started yelling. Him and the other guy started yelling. I'm like trying to get myself, to right myself.
That was a strong force to make you go.
Oh man, I mean, he locked up the brakes, and we hit the back of it was another taxi. I had like photos of it, video and stuff. It was, so you got to be careful no matter what, but sometimes shit happens and there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's also an issue of fire safety.
Yeah.
And you have experience with that.
I do have experience with that. So what is your advice to those who wish to move here? You got any advice? And I'm not talking about chicks or,
I just say, go for it, but make sure you really do a real budget, a realistic budget. And, if you're the kind of person that has been able to, build up some assets and savings, and you do fine when you're in America, you're going to do even better here, America or Europe or wherever anyone's
if you're
from.
disciplined with your money,
Yeah.
then you'll be fine here. If you're not real disciplined, you probably won't do all that. And you can't contain yourself, because this is, well, maybe right now it's fairly easy, but back in the days prior to all this nonsense going on now, but say 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and even well before, when I first moved here, especially because the resources were not available to people to where they could get firsthand information on the ground at that minute. You can find out, hey, what's it like in this place? Well, I went there last night, or I just came from there and everything's A-okay. Nowadays you can do that, very easily. But back in the day you couldn't do that, and guys were just were going nuts, and they couldn't stop themselves. That's why there were so many chowder heads. And I think the number of them, there's always going to be, guys who are just lured by the little snapper.
Yeah, I would say talk about these issues if you have a therapist. And if your therapist thinks it's okay to move to Thailand, go for it. But if your therapist thinks you have money issues and you're going to lose all your money, then maybe you should listen to the therapist.
If you have to go to a therapist because you're not sure if you can make ends meet, because you might lose yourself in the nightlife scene here, you shouldn't be coming here. That's a bummer. Now, there was one guy earlier who was asking if you are a full-time traveler.
I'm a full-time, I do everything at the same time. So I'm always working, always traveling. I can do whatever I want because I work at home.
Well, you weren't traveling in the United States. You went to where? Like you went to New York or something?
Oh, during the pandemic, I went to Mexico 2 times, New York, San Francisco, and also I went to 8 islands in Greece, and I stayed in 16 cities in Italy. And then I just came here.
Mexico is fast becoming a place that a lot of Americans are using as a retirement destination.
Mexico improved so much, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I haven't been there in many
Unbelievable.
years.
Unbelievable. And cool people, and they all speak English now.
What's strange to me is I don't know that Mexico would be exotic enough for me to go, yeah, I really want to move here. I want to move somewhere that's completely, I don't want to think about America. That's the thing.
You would like Ecuador more.
And the one good thing, I always say, oh, well, what do you got to think about in America? Okay, financially, you may have some things to think about. You may want to worry about, who's president and who's in office here and there because of the financial ramifications. But other than that, like for me, I like the fact that Thailand is fairly exotic. Now, I gotta say, I feel like I was living in America before, where I'm like, I get antsy, and I feel like, people can see you saying, oh, Chucky has to go take a leak.
No, I'll get up properly. No
You're
butt
not
cracks.
showing now,
No
don't
butt
worry.
cracks.
There's not gonna be any butt crack because you're not in the picture. I don't think my wife would like me moving to Thailand, or maybe she would. Well, if you both move here, she might not be so apt to dislike it. Now, I gotta say, the owner of this place, he says, yeah, my wife and I own the place. I said, oh, is your wife Thai? I just expect her to be Thai. No, she's not Thai. She's an American also. A friend of mine used to say, if you want to save money in LOS, don't leave your room. Yeah, well, that's one way to do it. Every time you go out, hey, that cheesecake was probably the best cheesecake I think I've ever had in my life.
Awesome. Thank you.
Really good. And the banana bread was very good also.
Thank you. So glad you enjoyed, man.
Yeah, it was, and even he said that. So.
Okay, yeah. Some of the islands, it's fun to kind of showcase things from home, American taste, and sometimes people, it's been forever since they've had like a good Mexican dish or American style.
I haven't had a Mexican dish in a couple of years. There's some Mexican restaurant. I think it's right next to Terminal 21.
Oh, okay.
I forget the name of it, but
Is that La Manita? La Manita in that
it might be. And actually, I went to a place. It's over on It's over by Prumpong.
Okay, yeah.
Or is it Prakanong? And it's I can't remember the name of that place either. Just a little hole in the wall place, and it was really, really good food. But it's just nice to, because there's not a lot of Mexican food.
Right.
Spanish food, you know,
Right.
and so it's always good to.
Yeah, it's fun to showcase.
Especially for breakfast,
give people
man.
a little piece of home. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
How do you guys enjoy it?
So Scott, I want to tell you a story.
Oh no, Chuck's gonna tell a story.
It's a straight story, don't worry. It's not
Okay,
about lady.
put your mic on.
So, oh yeah, that's right. So, one time I was at a coffee place, right? And I met this guy, and he was a really nice guy, and he had a Thai girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I said to him, she wasn't there, and I said to him, so how did it come to be that you ended up living in Thailand? He said, well, my ex-wife in Germany for years was begging me to come to Thailand because she loved going to temples. And I kept saying, no, 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 no. And he didn't care about it, he didn't want to go, and finally she convinced him to go. And he said he didn't like it at all. He said, I didn't like it at all. And I was about...
We're back. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. Go ahead, Chuck. Continue, please.
Do you know if any of you got cut off? Should I start at a certain point?
Yeah, she didn't want to, he didn't want to come, he didn't want to come, he didn't want to come. Finally he comes, he didn't like the place, he's on his way back to fly out that night. He's walking down Sukhumvit and...
So yeah, he's walking down Silkham Street.
Without his wife.
Without his wife, she went to a temple at a place that he didn't like at all. He thought it was dirty and trashy. He didn't like it at all. And he got propositioned
by
some hot Thai lady, Thai girl, whatever. And he said, oh, I have a wife. She said, it's okay. And she took him somewhere nearby. And he said that, okay, how do
I... rocked his world.
Yes. And he said he went back to Germany and he was never, ever, ever able to come even close to being able to have sex with his wife or any German woman. And he says, it just changed my brain. And he said, literally, I just look at my wife and I felt nothing towards her.
So he divorced her.
Yeah, well, she could tell the change.
So they
It
divorced.
was kind of like a mutual divorce, yeah.
Wow.
And now she hates temples.
Well, I've told the story about...
And she hates Thailand.
I've told the story about the one girl when I was in Beijing in 2018 covering the Olympics. And I was in the media center. And there was this lady there who was from, I think, the Caymans or the Virgin Islands or something. And it was just it was one of the, like some smaller island, right, that she lived on. And she was like, she was covering the Olympics for the paper, the little tiny paper of the neighborhood or something, right? So she was very happy to be there. And we started talking. And then all of a sudden she said, oh, you live in Thailand. I bet you're married to one of those Thai girls. And I was like, whoa, like, where's that coming from, And then she goes, oh, I've been in Thailand before with my husband. And it turned out that what had happened was she went to Phuket with her husband. And she was she was not really attractive. And she was, she had like that stink face on all the time. That stinky old lady, where she just, and so I guess her husband got tired of it because he met some girl in Phuket and he ended up divorcing his wife and moving to Thailand. This is many years ago, this is 14 years ago now. But she told that, she was like, they're all the Thai women are the same, they're all a bunch of whores, and she had this mentality like that. And I was like, well, obviously, lady, you don't know shit. I just, shot it right back at her. I said, you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the thing was, it was like, well, if I was her husband, and if she acted like she did, it's understandable why the guy wanted to get the fuck out of Dodge, man. And then you see some Thai girl who's probably, 10 times better looking than her. She's got a nice attitude. And, he's probably going, oh my God, just like the guy you're talking about. Oh my God, it's a complete, I didn't know this kind of world existed.
Right.
And for many people, that's what gets them here,
But they got to be ready. They got to be ready financially and psychologically, because if they don't have boundaries, if
Right.
they're easy to like go overboard and spend all their money,
Well,
it
that's
could be
what I was
horrible.
saying. You need to learn how to say no here. And, fortunately for me, I was never enough to where I could just piss away money left and right. And I didn't really, I've always had I understood the value of a dollar, And so, I've had multiple chicks, can you give me this, give me that? And I'm like, honey, you're talking about $500. What do you think? It fucking grows on trees? You know what I mean? So I never had that problem. That boundary was built in for me. But for some guys, I think, they're kind of like, they're willing to give it all up just to experience the fruit of pleasure.
I know a guy who came to Thailand with $20 million, and guess how much he has now? Zero.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
Zero. He had $20 million.
And he lost it all.
He bought many businesses for
So he's poor now.
He lives, he's really old now. He's like 80, and he's kind of like out of it. And he lives in some province somewhere, and one of the families that he helped, they take care of him for free, because he has nothing. He was an entrepreneur, so he doesn't even get Social Security.
Wow.
He gets like the minimum. It's like $600. He has nothing. Wow. But luckily, they felt gratitude because he did many things for them.
All right, hang on a second here. Something about Thai women. Yeah, he got some strange. Boom Boom of the Century. Listen, I've been watching this show. I don't know if anybody knows of it. It's called Succession. I talked about it the other day. And one of the guys, the owner of this big media corporation, his son sees this girl and he ends up screwing her. He sees her and he wants her, so he decides, I want to be with her. He screws her and he's like, honey, that was the screw of the century, wasn't it? And she's like, yeah, she's all giggly. And all it took for him to dump her was he introduced her to his father. And his father, is the head of a huge, multi-billion-dollar media corporation. And she said, this party is really awesome. And she used the word awesome like 3 times. And she talked to the father for like 5 minutes. A few minutes later, they show the guy, and he walks up to this guy who does everything for him, his assistant or whatever. He said, get her back on a plane, tell her I was busy, and get rid of her. And it was all because of the difference in, she was just some chick who looked good, but was a bit of an airhead and was nowhere near in his league when it came to the financial, and that happens here as well. And one of the stories that I've told for a long time is I being the gentleman that I am, and this is right when I first came here, I met some girl and she was like a little farm girl, nice girl. I don't even remember her or anything like that, but I remember saying to her, would you like to go get some food? We're going to go in the landmark. We'll go to a little restaurant and we'll have some nice food. And she's like, oh, okay. Of course, all she really wanted was to get paid. But, thinking, listen, I might as well wine and dine her and then we'll do our business. I take her to this restaurant. She hasn't got a clue what to do with the forks and the knives and she's not sure about what to eat. And she's looking at the menu and she was like, I want some somtam, She would have been happy just having something on the street. And here I am, I paid, $15 a plate, $20 a plate because I wanted to have a nice meal and I thought it was, There's another thing, it's like, oh, wait a minute, they may look good. That's why you just screw them until you find one that, you've got that connection with and you both are around the same,
And every time you're here and you date, you have to take notes and evaluate yourself like a curbside evaluation. So at least
Yeah.
you're learning. Because if you come to Thailand and you really don't have really strong boundaries, but as long as you're willing to learn,
Yeah,
and
if you don't learn from your mistakes here,
you're learning
you
from
end
your
up-
mistakes.
You end up, that's the end of your ass. Let me see, let me read some of these things here. Patsy Bob, the bonus is I can do what I want, go where I want, and no waiting. Still she, while she gets ready. Still she gets ready. Gennaro, some Thai girls can do you in ways that are unimaginable in the West, and then you wake up. Very true. They can do your head in. A friend of mine took his, especially if you let them, took his wife to Phuket for a holiday, and they ended up divorcing too. Hotties, baby. A friend of mine, Sean, brought his wife from San Francisco to Pattaya. He went to a bar, and when he came back to the condo, she had 2 girls there in bed, and he never knew she was bi in the United States. Holy shit. Have to have enough experience with women to learn they are not special, and you won't let them take advantage of you. He tells me that now his marriage is even closer than ever, and she gets girls for her and him. Thai women let you be a man, but you have to be one to make her. That's very true, Carl.
Say that again.
Thai women let you be a man, but you have to be one to make the relationship work. And that's why, like if they ask you,
I agree.
They ask you for where do you want to go, what do you want to do, something like, just man up and tell them what you want to do. Well, I'm not sure, baby. If you get like that, then they're like, oh, fuck, Be decisive. This is still Asia. And while it may not be quite as the same as, say, 50 years ago, when, the wife used to lie at your feet before you go to bed.
Right.
Last time we both went overseas was to Singapore. She almost died. Well, sort of. Carl, absolutely true. And when you break up with them, hell hath no fury like a Thai woman scorned. Well, that's what money is for. Money, Gennaro, is the way, it's kind of like a little divorce settlement. They can be quite ferocious. Well, what woman can't be? That's why you break up online, Gennaro. Oh, Jesus. I had to call the police on one of them. Well, you're not the only guy. I wouldn't feel bad about that. The wilder they are, the more the separation cost. But listen, money squelches that fury. She was living with me at the time. There's your first mistake. What did you do, Gennaro? My previous 3 were also, this was here in LA. Thai girl in LA? Ha ha ha. Had 3 Thai girlfriends in LA. But there's your mistake. They should have never been your girlfriend. They should have just been your friend with benefit. I once went out with a lady working at SCB and she could not eat Western food. I kin falang food, she said. Up to you, darling. Well, if she doesn't eat Western food and she can only eat Thai food, probably you might want to move on. Bought her a Chanel handbag and she gave her $2,000 to go back to Bangkok. I had 2 ex-Thai, this is Patia Bob, I had 2 ex-Thai wives. One I met in the U.S. on a J1 visa. One I brought over from Thailand. My opinion, once they leave Thailand, American women indoctrinate them. It's over. One of the tips that I've given over the years is if you are the kind of guy who you live in America and you decide, oh God, I went to Thailand, I met this girl, I fell in love with her, and she loves me so much, and we have this long distance relationship now. I'm going back over there to see her in a couple of weeks. And then we're gonna work on it, and she's gonna move to the United States. You barely know her. Mm-hmm. You know her from being online with her, talking in video chats or whatever, and maybe you spent a total of a month with her. That is not the way to move to America with them, or move to anywhere else for that matter. If you're going to do something like that, make sure they have a return ticket, and they have to leave on that day and set it up to where they're going to leave. Otherwise, you need to get to know them, get the relationship strong.
You got to move here.
You
and
need
get to
live
know
here.
them.
You need to live here.
Like-
You need to be with them. And then, listen, after 10 years of marriage, and you got a strong marriage, where, you're both faithful, you trust each other, and all those kind of, all the things that you're supposed to have when you get married, then maybe you have a chance of going back to the United States, and she won't be so easily led by some American chick. Because, listen, I don't know about you, but most of the time, when we were in the United States, she was with me almost every minute, with me or the kids or my mother or somebody. And while that wouldn't always be the case if she lived there, at this point, when women get a little bit older, I think they generally know, hey, I don't know if I want to start my life over again with somebody else. I was just thinking about this and talking to somebody about this. The older you get as a man, the less you really want. I don't know about you, Chucky, because you're not really in that kind of a relationship or anything with anybody. But as you get older, if you've got somebody you've been with for a long time, it's much easier just to get along with them or figure some kind of an issue out than it is to start all over again. Get to know the person. When you get to be 70 years old, do you really want to be like divorcing your wife of 50 years because you want a piece of strange ass? Really, it doesn't make sense to me, Anyway, let me go on here.
See, because your relationship is so long, your marriage is so long, it would be fine transitioning if you and your wife moved to the USA. Because you have that relationship.
Probably, yeah.
So I think that you got to move here.
But that's
then
why
you gotta,
we put the time in, and I lived here.
you got to put the time in. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's always about.
Yeah.
And if you don't put the time in, and you're still together after, say, 30 years, you got lucky.
Yeah.
It just happened that things worked out,
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me read some of these comments here again. Let's see which glasses.
That's why I haven't gotten into a relationship anyone, because I don't live here full time. I just date.
She still texts me from Bangkok to this day, and it's been 4 years. Well, she misses the Gennaro loving. Once they get to the United States, these women there tell them, get a lawyer, sue for palimony. Yeah. Mine got angry with me because I kept saying hottie alert. I could not help it. I think she's a little crazy. She thought we were going to get married. And there's another thing with Thai women. You better be, like I say, it's not so difficult to land them. If you say the right things and you promise the right things, it's not only Thai women. You promise the right things, you say the right thing, you smile at the right times, you laugh just enough, you brood just enough, you can land them. But getting rid of them, it might be pricey, it might cost you some dough,
Well, why does it have to cost you some dough?
Because it depends. It depends on the woman. If she's got her own dough, she wants more money.
Well, if you're married, but you don't have to give him it. My ex that I was dating for like 9 years, I didn't give him any money at all, nothing.
Well, that's probably because he didn't want to push you for it.
He couldn't have given me money. We were married, so there was no.
Chuck, wake up. Scott, in my opinion, you're correct about your marriage. Me, I can't live long term with a woman. Hell, I can't even live long term with myself. Well, Bob, you got issues. I got issues. You got issues as well. All right, we all got issues, and some of us, I wouldn't have got married if I didn't love my old lady. I didn't do it because I didn't do it because, unlike some people that watch this stream, because I thought Thailand was paradise and I don't want to leave, and oh my God, I got to find a Thai girl to get married to. I didn't do it because of that,
You did a great job. You're very successful
I don't know.
with your marriage.
You have to, Chuck, this brings me to another question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I got to undo this because we're running out of battery life on the phone. Hopefully people can still hear us. Have you yet used the bum gun.
Oh no. I still haven't done it.
Chuck, you are a pussy. Okay? I'm sorry. I hate to do this to you. Dude, you are a pussy. Use the bum gun. I'm telling you, you will never want to use. You will never. You're not gonna squirt it on the wall, you fucking dumb shit. You're never gonna want to go back to toilet paper again. Believe me. I mean, think about it. If you got a fucking hose and you aim it straight ahead, it's gonna go straight ahead. If you aim it behind you, it's gonna go behind you. Well, if you aim it up your ass, it's gonna squirt up the ass,
Well,
and it just goes right back into the.
Here, I don't know where it's
Oh,
going.
Chuck,
I can't
stop
see.
being a little kid. Really, you're acting like a fucking dummy. Oh, I don't know where to put them. I don't know which way to point the fucking nozzle. Where do you think you're pointing? Jesus Christ. I think having a rotation works better for me. Yeah, well, Gennaro, let me ask you this. You got Miss Beer from, or whoever, Preo or Tien or one of these girls from Starbucks, some barista. You go out with her, you like her, you end up, having your way with her, and she has her way with you, and you just go, wow, that was incredible. She's such a wonderful girl. And then you're like, yeah, I want more. I got to go back for seconds. And she's like, yeah, I want some seconds of Gennaro as well. And then, you just like, this chick, I don't know what it is. I like being around her. And then you're like, and you know what? I like boning her. She's fun. She's great. I love it. And then she goes, hey, listen, if you want to keep tapping into this, honey, you can't. I can't have you running around, jumping on all my girlfriends and trying to bone everything that moves. So you got to be with me. We got to be a couple. What are you gonna do? So that's what I would say about that, Gennaro. Because I had the rotation thing for a long time. And then, like I said, they start going, hey, listen, enough is enough. And my wife was tolerant in the beginning. When I first started dating her, she was tolerant of the rotation.
I can't imagine that. Seriously.
Well, she was only tolerant for a short period of time.
A week?
I don't know, but it just came down to it where it was like, you gotta stop, All right, what is this here? Hang on a second.
So you moved to Thailand in 1996? Or
95, end of 95. Must admit, mine is very tolerant to let me do what I love, i.e. travel. Yeah, when I met my wife, I was traveling a lot, and I told her from the beginning, it's something that I do. It's how I make money, and and she knew. So get up a day there, warmer. Oh, Jesus Christ! The bum gun belittler. Most Thai women have not traveled outside the borders. It is a culture shock to them. I don't find that to be true anymore, Jim. It depends on which women you're meeting. Even some of the Starbucks girls have been outside of Thailand. But if you're meeting some farm girl or something, then maybe no. Talk to some office workers. I know Thai girls through my wife that they've lived in Belgium and Switzerland, Australia. They've been all over the place, man. They've studied places, The Greek said love is a sickness that lasts about 8 weeks, and then you get a fungal infection on your toe. I was fortunate that my next door neighbor was Thai, and she was a good influence on my life. I am 60 this year. My biggest issue is putting on my underpants one leg at a time. Well, putting on my underpants is getting to be a little more difficult because I'm getting older. Gennaro, that sounds more like infatuation than love. Yes, the idea of love is what is the word that I'm looking for? It's an intangible. And so because of that,
people have different definitions of what love is. I don't think, the whole love at first sight is not really love at first sight, in my opinion. I have the same problem. Someday I'll be able to be found with a broken hip because my little toe got caught in my underwear hem. Maybe you should change underwear. Or what you do is you put a stool on the end of the bed so that you hang over the bed, your legs hang over the bed, and they're on the stool. And you put your feet through the underwear as they're on the stool. And it's very simple to put your pants on.
This Thai girl can do that for me.
Well, depends on what kind of girl she is. Now, if he's truly unable to do it, a good Thai woman would do it. If he's just trying to do it because, oh, honey, you need to massage my feet before I put my shoes on every day, that's a little different. Chucky's tired. He's not usually up this early.
Stretching out.
Mr. Jensen, why so many old guys in Thailand go commando? I don't know what the hell you're talking about there, Patsy Bob. When I was younger, I used to go commando if I was wearing jeans. Nowadays, I think it's important to wear, like Manscaped type underwear because of the heat. If you're walking a long distance, let's turn the camera away from Chuck. He's starting to feel a little insecure. He goes, insecure? Not me. When you walk in the heat and and you're getting a little bit sweaty, it's just the going commando thing doesn't work anymore. Not for me, at least. I gotta have something on. I gotta have my boys in their package. I throw used undies when also skips packing and washing. I don't know what the hell that means. I've been married. It lasted 3 years. Learned a lot about myself and the challenge of living with a woman on a daily basis. I'll tell you what I found, gentlemen. If you piss off your wife, just leave her alone. Don't ask why. Don't ask 100 reasons. What's going on? Are you okay? What's happening? Don't just leave her the hell alone. And usually, in a day or an hour, everything is fine. If it's not fine, she damn sure is going to let you know she's not fine. And that goes out to guys who they think that the women are subservient here. That's just bullshit. They're not at all. They may seem like it when on the exterior they may be and superficially they may be very.
They are that way at work.
They want to keep it superficial. They want to keep it light. They don't want to push themselves too much. But when you become their man, whether you are a boyfriend or a husband, that's a no thank you. I never got into the whole man powder. I don't care if it's baby powder, special powder, the gold bond powder. I don't care what it is. That stuff, what happens is you start getting sweaty and it just gets gritty. It's like sandpaper. You either use Drapeline, which is in a pink tube here. It's used for baby nappy rash. There's a hint. Or you use the you use the Manscaped underwear or the Merino wool? What the hell is it? Merino wool. Vera is quite capable of channeling her inner Black Widow. It's so funny that you say that because the other day I said to her, "Hey, Vera, you okay? What's going on? You don't look very happy." I was like, okay. I went, sat down, and then she comes over and she was walking around doing things, and she came over to me and she said, "My stomach hurts." And I said, "What? You got your period?" "Yes." Well, there you go. So I could tell she didn't look right. And guess what it had to do with? She had the cramps. What's that stuff they used to take for cramps in America? I forget what the hell it is. I haven't been there in so long. I've had a woman in America for so long. There used to be a pill that they always took. You know. Midol, thank you. Gennaro knows. Yeah, actually, this place is. There have been a handful of people coming in and out here, and I suspect that for lunch this place will pick up a little bit. But you know. That was honestly, and actually that banana bread was right there at the top. I don't know if it's the best because I don't eat a whole lot of banana bread. And sometimes if I do, it's like some banana bread that my old lady got from 7-Eleven or something. She just took it out of the wrapper and threw it on a plate, a couple pieces of banana bread for dessert or something like that. And it's okay, and it hits the spot, but it's not like this. But I don't have a whole lot of banana bread to compare it to. With cheesecake, that was the best cheesecake I've ever had.
Yep.
So now, you know, the whole thing, this is a, besides talking to Chucky, and I did have some other things to talk about, but one of the reasons that we're here is to review this place. And the criteria, the categories, the value for the money, the location, the ambiance, the quality and taste of food and coffee, and the service. So Chucky,
Yes.
the value for the money here, I would say, is decent.
Yeah, I give it a D.
Though it's 1 to 5, I'm going to say 4.
4. Me too.
The location, I'm going to say, is excellent.
It's right by the Sky Train.
It's right by the SkyTrain. I'm going to give it a 4.5
Yeah.
because I gave the Artis a 5 because it was right there in Sukhumvit, Soy 18, which is right in the heart of things. This is a little ways out. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ambiance here. I'm going to say the ambiance is pretty good.
I give it like a 4.
I'm going to say...
But it's more like simplistic lines. So.
yeah, okay, I'll give it a
But it's
4.
up to
Now,
you.
the quality of food and coffee. If I could give that a 10 or a 6, I would.
I give it a 6. Especially like the desserts aren't like.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And the service was great, 5.
Yeah.
So that is a 26.5, which is, how the hell is it 26, but it's not 26.5. What did I say here? 10, 14, 18, 22.5. Divided by 5 equals a 4.5 rating. The Artis was a 4 rating. And I don't remember what the other place was. Oh yes, the company that you are sharing your meal and coffee with here. Oh, that's a 10.
It's a 10 because it's Chucky.
I told Chucky, I said, Chucky, you gotta stop being so miserable and mean. He's just such a mean guy, man. Yeah,
Well, I guess
should we?
nicer, I guess.
Should we do? Yeah, I guess me too. But I don't know. What it is I like to be in places I want to be and doing things I want to do. I don't want to do things I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to be into some situation where I've got to go to this event or this, and I don't have to do many things like that anymore. I used to have to a lot more, and I think I'm a little more mellow because of it most of the time. Not always, for sure. I haven't had enough coffee, forget about it. All right, so that gives us the ranking here for La Mesa, 4.5, which is quite good. And I like this place. And I would compare it to the Voodoo, for sure. Now, the Voodoo is quite a bit farther, and it's a totally different vibe. But for a place close by, if you're on the Sukhumvit or on the line here, the BTS line or whatever, this is a great place to come and have a nice breakfast and, hang out for a while.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
is about like long-term, like retirement visa.
Yeah.
And for 14 years, I've had a Thai bank account. They closed it because I was gone.
You were gone. You never put any money in it.
It had some money, but they closed it for inactivity.
Well, yeah, inactivity. That
Because I
money.
was gone because of COVID.
Oh, so because you were gone for so long, they closed it. How much money do you have?
Like 500 baht.
And they didn't give it back to you?
They gave me a little bit back. They took out the fees, but it was like less than 100 baht.
They took out 400 baht to close your account?
I don't know, but I don't remember exactly what it was when I left, but it was low. And they closed it.
They haven't done that to me yet.
And I didn't know how long it would be gone.
Yeah.
So I just should have left a little more money in there. I just didn't know I'd be gone.
Well,
I should have left like 2,000 baht in there.
and the other thing is that maybe, once a year make a little transfer.
Right.
Sorry about that, guys. Wow, we didn't lose that many people either. The battery went dead. Let me make sure it's staying on here. Here we go. All right. Yeah, Chuck was just talking about the test and go, how they want to bring it back. I don't know how feasible it is for them to continue to test 5 days later. I'm not sure what good it's going to do.
Or even the first time. That takes a lot of time.
I think they should
can't
just.
accommodate like hundreds of thousands of people doing that.
Well, I don't
Only
think
a few
hundreds of
thousand.
thousands of people want to come back yet.
Oh, I disagree. If they just if there were no requirements to come, they could go back 70% of normal. In less than 2 weeks. I feel people are traveling like crazy to Mexico, like crazy. Mexico prices
It's
are
Mexico.
really high. I know, but they would come to Thailand. Believe me, if the Europeans knew.
All right, let me tell you what I know. What I know from what has happened when they did the Thailand pass before, and how much things went up, and I can tell you that right now is not a good time for people to travel. They don't want to travel. There are many people that will come here, but they tend to be the hardcore aficionados, the guys like you who have been here before. Yeah, you want to come here. The people like, say, and I always use this as an example, like my mother, she's an avid traveler. She's been all over the place, but she's not taking any chances. She's like, what for what? What do I need to? I'll go somewhere else.
About the people under 55.
It doesn't really have to do with the age. Because there's a lot of, there's people.
The places that are open, they're getting a lot of tourists.
And you say a lot. It's
Like
fuck all.
almost back to normal.
It's not next to normal, Chuck.
No, in Mexico it is.
That's Mexico. It's not Thailand. Thailand is different.
Mexico has zero requirements. You just get on the plane
Yeah,
and
but
go.
Thailand is not going to do that.
I said if.
Well, what does it matter if they're not going to do it?
No, most people don't want to do the test and go. But if it went back to no restrictions at all, they can turn the lights back on within 30 days.
No.
Yes, they can.
No.
If they had no.
It's not going to
restrictions.
happen. First of all, it's not going to happen.
Desperate.
They're not going to just say, oh, anybody can come in now.
It's an if.
I understand. Why would you say if, though? It's not going to happen.
Well, I agree it's not going to
They've
happen.
already made it clear it's not going to happen.
I wasn't saying it's going to happen.
We don't need.
I think it will not.
We don't need any percentages. Yeah, we don't need any percentages.
He has a weird look on his face.
Well, because you and your percentages. So let me see here.
People are going to Latin America a lot.
If zero restrictions, I would return to Thailand, but many restrictions, so Mexico is just fine.
Mexico's crazy. They don't require anything. COVID test, nothing.
Yeah, and look what's going on there. It's perfectly fine. There's no problems.
Well, they're not as, they're.
Listen, here's the thing.
They've had COVID.
What do people
But
want here?
Not as bad as you would think.
No, but really, what is it that people want? Nobody's gonna die? People die.
It's impossible to stop.
It's like the old lady who died the other day. She was 86 years old. Oh, the first case of Omicron that killed somebody. No, it didn't kill her. That's not what killed her. And this is what I mean. People need to get real. And then I saw somebody going, oh, by the end of April, Thailand needs to stop with the counting. How about they stop right now? You know, if they stop right now counting, then if there was minimal restrictions, people would be coming in droves. But when people, anytime people see, oh, there's this many thousands, oh, this many people are dying, it makes them worry subconsciously. I just don't see it. Listen, I don't give a shit what they do here. Short of them eliminating everything, and even then, the mentality of the government has changed towards foreigners. And people, some people, have the impression that Thailand is not quite as welcoming as it used to be. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
the government required for my tourist visa for 60 days that I show a month of a bank statement, and they never did that before. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. But
That's
let me
crazy.
read this here. There's something here I wanted to read here.
And you had to have like around 7,000 times.
Hi Scott, I want to ask if I can get into Thailand unvaccinated. If you want to do quarantine, and coming from where you're coming, you're probably going to be in for 14 days. I always get at least 500 Aussie dollars in Thai baht before I go. I don't know why. Chucky, in your percentages. If zero restrictions, I would return to Thailand, but many restrictions. So Mexico is just fine. Must be hardcore. Then, well, you're a traveler, and you've been to Thailand before, and you're willing to do whatever you have to do to get in here. I can tell you now that, like, if they started saying, well, if I was some guy and was just traveling back and forth to Thailand like I did in the beginning, and people and the government was to say, you need to go through all these frickin' you need to go through this procedure here to get into Thailand, I wouldn't come. I'd just go somewhere else. What the fuck do I want to? What do I care about it for that much? Because you want a piece of ass? Wait, you can't get a piece of ass somewhere else? I mean, yeah, most people can. So, you know, I don't see that people would just come running here. But then what do I know? Let me go on. Thailand man powder called Protex Ice. I don't like powder, and there's other powder that I would probably use before that. Poor young lady needs new shorts. They're all torn up. Mexico getting more strict with nomad long travelers. I am applying for residence. As you should if you're going to be a resident. I never got that to where people would, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be on a tourist visa. I'm just going to keep renewing my tourist visa, and I'm going to stay here I'm going to retire here. It's something, you know, there is a reason why they call it a tourist visa, because you're not a retiree in the country. You're living there as a tourist. You know what I'm saying? Gennaro, you're way too slow, buddy. It was your grandson who did it. He bought Omicron yeah, I know. Oh, come on. You can enter unvaccinated, but you're facing, I think it's 10 to 14 days, depending on where you're coming from. And since you're coming from Vietnam, they may make you stay for 14 days in quarantine. It would panic people if they were told how many people died of the flu. It wouldn't panic me. I wouldn't give a shit. I'm still alive. Over 25,000 cases in Melbourne. It's all BS now. What percentage is that AS? Huh? As? Huh? Oh, I think you meant what percentage was that? Chuck's not the right guy to ask. Good afternoon, Dowlow. Oh, God. Him with this fucking... Are you just trying to rile me up?
It's a damn paradise. Thailand's a damn paradise.
Fuck, you sound like a fucking little kid. Really, you do. You sound like a fucking little kid.
It's paradise. Oh my God, I'm on the beach. I got a beautiful girl. It's paradise. Got my toes in the sand, and drink in my hand, and oh, she's the woman. Understand? Doo, doo, doo. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah, yeah, beautiful girls. It's a damn paradise.
Some people think that Vietnam's a paradise.
Not when you get robbed.
Well, you got robbed there because you were a knucklehead.
I wasn't.
Well, when you put your fucking camera out in the road,
Yeah. And it was a Canon 5.
and you know that's what they.
Mark III.
Yeah, but you know that the motorcycle drivers, they have a habit. Some of them, that's how they steal.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, do your research, Chucky.
I know.
There was a fault in your logic there.
And my arm had scratches on it, and my fingertips right here were black and blue because the strap hit right.
That sucks, man.
Well, it didn't hurt, but they were like totally bruised right on my fingers there.
Yeah, that sucks. Did you have insurance?
Yeah.
So you didn't even lose out.
I made money. You know why? Because I bought my, B&H camera in New York City.
Uh-huh.
I bought it there, and they paid me full list price on my equipment. So I walked away with like $2,000 extra.
Wow.
So I bought a lens.
That's good.
I took that $2,000 and I bought a 70 to 200.
There you
lens.
go. So go to Vietnam, get robbed, and you make $2,000. It pays for your trip, and then you still got money left over. It's not bad.
And I upgraded from a 5D Mark II to a 5D Mark III or whatever it was.
Now, I have to say, there are two things that I wanted to go over. I'll go over these in the next stream. One of them is about retirement for Thai people, which is no snooze here. That's the title of the thing here. And also how Thailand plans to make all the parts of marijuana, they want to make it legal, actually to decriminalize it, moving a step closer to clearing use for recreational use after becoming the first country in Southeast Asia to legalize medical cannabis and its use in food and cosmetics. So, that could happen. You guys could be... Now, I'll tell you what, if they lift all the restrictions and they say, listen, we're going to start opening up marijuana cafes and, you're going to pay 50 baht for a doobie, 100 baht for a chunk of hash or something like that, this place will skyrocket. If they start selling weed here legally, forget about it. This place is history. It'll never be the same. Now that will change it. You're going to have a lot of loadies here.
I also think they should turn Katia into a Vegas.
Into Vegas?
With a big brand name casino.
Chuck thinks they should turn Pate into Las Vegas. Yeah?
Like, invite the American companies.
Yeah, but then that would mean that the Thai people would have to allow foreigners to be able to make more money than them. And that ain't gonna happen. It's just like,
No, but they could own a percentage of it.
they'd rather let the Chinese in.
Make it a... Well, I'm saying make it a casino business that is also a tourist destination. Not just cheap, ugly casinos.
Yeah, kind of like being in Cambodia.
Yeah, not Cambodia.
Have you been to that casino in Cambodia?
No.
I have. It's different. It's different from the Vegas casinos, and that's the thing. They probably cater to Chinese here as opposed to, Isn't there a cruise terminal plan for Pattaya? I believe so. There's a lot of things planned, and let's see how much happens. But I think the weed is I think if they did it to where, you got to be 21 or something like that, and they had little coffee shops, and they had to be approved by the government, then I would say this place is gonna take off, even more than before. You get more than 40 million because people will come here just to be able to legally smoke weed.
It's so cool. I get to hang out with my Thai girl, and we're puffing doobies, and it's legal. It's paradise.
Doesn't it sound so juvenile? It does to me.
It's paradise. Oh my God.
Recreational weed in Thailand would make it a paradise. Yeah, I mean, you
All you
know.
need is the weed and the cheesecake from here.
Oh,
Can you imagine that?
yeah. Listen, I bet you he would do that here. He's got some great coffee machines
You
here.
have the best cheesecake, but if you have
This is
if you have some weed too,
This is a quality establishment, really. I mean, if you look around, you can tell everything is. And you know, that's one thing that like, in like that other place, the Voodoo Cafe, what I noticed is everything was meticulous. It was quality. You know, like here, it's a bit of a simple place. You know, you got the cactus, but all the little touches make it what it is. And in some places, you go into a coffee shop and it's just like everything's thrown up on the shelf. Like if you go into excuse me, but if you go into a what is it? Not Black Canyon. What's the other Cafe Amazon? Now that is not a higher end coffee shop. That is not a boutique coffee shop. And you know, I don't expect it to be primo, but like you don't get the attention to detail. And this is simplistic in that the design is very simple. You know what I mean? You know, just with the tables, and it's not extravagant, but it still is very nice. You go into like a chain place, and there's no sense of personality to the cafe.
Well, and everything tastes too simple in the chain places. You know, there's
Yeah.
no, it's not like it tastes like hardware. It just tastes like nothing special.
Yeah, exactly.
But here, that's different.
The Interior Ministry's rules offer long-term resident visas to applicants, each with up 4 children. I don't know what you're talking about here. Except the qualifications of the applicants, the visas will be valid for 5 years and watched by Gucci. The total visa holders will pay annual fee of 10,000 baht. Will weed help my paranoia? I think it depends on the type of weed you smoke. You sold me on La Mesa. I'll be there the next trip. I should start getting a percentage of everybody who goes into the place. It's like, well, I get 20% of whatever money. Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I wish it was easier here to get permanent residency.
I agree. Especially for you.
Yeah.
You should be able to get a passport.
I don't care about the passport, but I do care about permanent residency. I don't need citizenship, although it would be nice. Now, what I do have to say is, when I get a little bit older, I may end up getting a second passport from somewhere else. I mean, I've really been thinking about it, and some of it, the funds that are required they're not that much. And so it might benefit me and my wife to,
Where do you consider?
there's a few places, I'm starting to lean towards Portugal a little bit. I like Ecuador. And there's a few other places. Well, we all know that.
Why don't you take a trip to Portugal? Take a trip to Ecuador.
Oh, Jesus, Chuck. I mean, right now, again, taking a trip to Phuket is risky.
I don't mean this year.
Thank you. The first place I gotta go is America. That's where I'm going. I wouldn't, listen, it's nice to go and, go where you want to go and go everywhere and oh, I gotta see this place and that place. But you know what? Like, I haven't seen my folks in like 4 years now. I need to go back and see them, Not everything's about hotties, Gennaro. Sorry to tell you that. Wouldn't be so paranoid if people would stop talking about me behind my back. I know the feeling down low. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what does it matter if anybody talks about you? It doesn't matter. My wife talks about me, but she does it to my face. My kids talk about me, but they talk about me to my face. Usually they have nice things to say, though. Chuck talks, but he talks about me to my face. So I'm not paranoid.
I'm just a dream crusher. Thailand is not paradise that everybody says it is.
I don't know. You know, there are places everywhere in the world that have their version of paradise. You know, and I'm a realist, man. Paradise, you know, it'll last as long as your money will last. And the thing is even like for me, who I want to, you know, like my idea is, oh, I want a nice place on the beach. And, you know, you can walk out to the beach and it's like, you walk, you know, 2 minutes and you're right on the beach. And wow, man, I can go jump in the beach every morning. The truth is that the reality is that after going to the beach every single morning for a year, you're probably going to be like, you know, I think I want to go down the street. I'm going to go the other direction. I may not want to go straight ahead all the time. I might want to go backwards or go to the right or to the left. I may not want to go the same direction all the time. I get bored very easily. So, you know, I understand that. That's why I say, oh, there's got to be a city within, say, an hour. Because that way, if you need a little excitement, and that's what's great about being in a city, because you don't have to even travel an hour. You go backwards on Happy Street. Many unibrows. Ecuador equals paradise. Did you like Ecuador, Chucky?
Yeah, I've been there 2 times. I mean, Ecuador is really amazing.
You know what a unibrow means for a woman? Do you know, Chuck? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Men with dirty minds, they know. You know what hairy arms on a woman means? Don't say it.
So let's talk about Ecuador.
Okay, let's talk about Ecuador. Let's talk about Ecuador.
So Ecuador, I love.
Quito and I love Cuenca. Those are cities in the mountains. They're magical. They're magical. I don't know if they're paradise, but they're magical. But they also have beach cities and they also have Galapagos Islands.
Yes, I know. Didn't you go there?
I've been 2 times. The Galapagos Islands, I never saw so much nature ever in my whole life. It's shocking. Like, I went scuba diving there 5 times, and what I saw underwater was shocking. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And just the insects that you see, and they all, every animal looks totally different than anything you ever saw. Take it off?
Yeah, take it off. It's not working right now. We got the battery being charged since.
So, you know, I haven't had experience with like living there and how that's like, but I just think it's a really nice country.
Well,
and people are
yeah.
very down to earth there and very calm.
Well, I mean, you know, for me, the only thing is I don't know how I would do in the Latin American culture. I personally kind of like the whole European thing a little bit more, and even Portugal, I have a little bit of I have my reservations. I'm more like, the only thing is about the cold, but I like the Scandinavian countries, Denmark, and you know, I like that whole.
But you don't like liberals.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm thinking of the vibe and the.
They're the most liberal.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
You know.
There's the problem, and therein lies the problem. Yeah, so which one do you like better, Portugal or Ecuador?
Ecuador.
Really?
Yeah. But Portugal is cool too. But I think that I'd have to. I've spent more time in Ecuador.
Portuguese women have mustaches. That's what Gennaro says.
Now I wouldn't be.
Is that true?
I'm not attracted to anyone.
Is that true, Chuck? Portuguese women have mustaches?
I didn't see it.
Chuck didn't see any. So Gennaro, your news is fake news and has been debunked. Fake news.
But you know, I've just been to Lisbon, so but actually this summer I think I'm going to Portugal.
Yeah, you know where I really liked? I'll be honest, I liked it. France. I really like France, but then again, I was in Cannes, in the surrounding area, and it was fucking fantastic.
It looks like California.
It was so nice, man. Yeah, but with the little bit of the European flavor.
Right.
Whereas, California has
It
that.
looks like Lagoon Beach.
It has I would say that the people have they have a different vibe. There's a different vibe. What is this? I couldn't care less. Nana Soy Cowboy. Not going. Lack of sun, vitamin D really affected me when I lived in the Netherlands. I like the Netherlands, and yes, I did notice that the amount of sunlight was minimal. A lot of gray, overcast. Romanian women have mustaches. Had a Romanian girlfriend in my 20s. It was a little weird because her mustache was thicker than mine. No, he didn't say that. He just said I had a Romanian girlfriend. I've heard the same thing about Albanians, and listen, some of them, they don't always like to shave the armpits.
Those Romanians have a temper.
Oh, do they?
When I was there, they're always yelling at each other on the streets. And having couples having fights.
Really?
Just screaming at you. Yeah. It's really passionate.
Huh. Yeah, I don't like people yelling at me. I wouldn't do well in that kind of a
There was a guy
relationship.
that worked at a coffee shop, and he's so like Scott.
What the fuck does that mean?
I said to him, so, how was your day today? And he said, why are you asking me? My life is so fucked.
I don't say that. How
No.
was that like me? I
No.
never say that.
No, he said, you're from America. You don't know what it's like to live like I live. And he just went on.
Yeah.
about
So how
negative
does that
things.
resemble me, Chuck? Jesus Christ.
Well, I was thinking Romanians are paradise. And he's saying, it's not paradise.
Well, listen, I think that for some people, and this particular guy, I think he gets off on saying it and have me go off on him like that. But, I just am hesitant. I mean, it's like saying, she's a 12, man. She's the best I've ever seen in my life. She's so hot. She's the best. Everything's perfect about her. Really? Go sit in the bathroom with her when she takes a dump. Tell me how perfect she is. Really. It's like, be real. Thailand is a great place. Don't get me wrong. And there are places that I've gone. Listen, I've been in Kokut. I've been in Samui. I've been in many islands and places that for me, I'm like, man, this is great. And I think to myself, hey, for a few days, this place is fantastic. I like Khao Lak, and I couldn't find a fucking place to eat. It was hard for me to find a place to eat in Khao Lak. It's hard for me to find a good coffee there. I could find a mojito, though. I could find a mojito on the beach. And I could get a coffee at the place that served me the mojitos. But all in all, when I sat on the beach, I was like, man, this place is so awesome. It's awesome. But then I think to myself, what would it be like if I lived there? What am I going to do? Go there every day and drink mojitos on the beach? If you guys think that that's a hottie, you guys need to get your eyes checked. I'm serious. Apply the word hottie, just like paradise. Paradise is a place like you're going to live there forever. Everything's going to be awesome. Forever and ever, it's going to be perfect. If you say the word hottie, she truly needs to be smoking hot. And I think it's Andy says, I might go to Boys Town with Chucky when I'm in Bangkok. I'll be his bodyguard. Or Chuck will be your bodyguard. Chuck will have to keep all the men away from you, Andy.
Especially those lady boys. Those lady boys, they love daddy bears. So much.
I wouldn't know because I've never had one of them proposition
Yes,
me.
you have.
I've never had one of them proposition me, which tells me that they don't like daddy boys that much if I'm a daddy boy. So just knock it off or whatever the fuck it is.
Remember the daddy bear song?
you want to get punched? Fucking Chuck.
Scott is so naive.
It's not that I'm naive.
No, you're
I'm not naive at all. It's I just don't fucking give a shit, Chuck.
Me and Scott are in Nepal, right? And there's this guy picking up on Scott, and Scott doesn't even know. And he's like, "Oh, come in with us to do this. Come with us to do
I
that."
thought he was just being friendly.
Young guy.
I thought he was being friendly. I didn't know he wanted to fucking stick his dick in me. Or vice versa. I had no
He
idea.
was looking at Scott like, "Oh, he's so dreamy," and Scott has. He just couldn't.
He
even
must have
pick
been
up on it.
blind.
And then his friend was there, and his friend liked me, and you didn't even pick up on any of it.
Is that guy still write you?
All the time.
What's his name, David? Isn't he a
Yeah.
politician? Is he a politician
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I like those guys. I don't
Oh,
care
yeah,
if
they're
he's gay. I
very
just, I did tell the guy, hey, I got a wife, man, I didn't even think about it. Oh, in fact, I asked him, if you remember, we sat there and had a conversation. I asked him, what would you do if a chick, like, if you had to go away or something and you had a girlfriend? I don't know if you remember that. We sat in a cafe. We were freezing our balls off there a lot of the time. And so, do you remember the name of that mountain we went up to?
No.
Because we could see Annapurna from where we went up to, and I wanted to remember how high up we were that day. Remember when we went to Nepal and we were on the top of that mountain? I was shooting. I couldn't get over the trees though, but we went into this little place. It was like into the mountain, and there was just like a bunch of old wood, and we went in there and we're like, could I get some chocolate or something like that? And they made us like a hot chocolate or a tea or something in the place. Remember that place? That place was awesome. To me, that's like, those are the kind of places I like to find. You don't even know what that place doesn't even have a fucking name. It's like, what do you need here? You need coffee? Okay, you need motor oil? We got that too.
I think that if someone is interested in going somewhere really interesting, that they should ask you where to go. Or go to places that you've been to, because you know where to go. You know the
Well,
places to go.
You know what I want to know
The places
more
that
about.
are unique.
That's it. I want the unique places. I mean, granted, I go like, to places that some people go all the time, but I just don't want to go to those places very often. It's like I go to Chinatown, I'm like, fuck me, where am I going to go new in Chinatown? I got to find somewhere new. I got to make a left turn instead of right. I need to find something that's different. And that's the only way, because I get bored really, really quick, Anyway, that's why I like that place in Nepal. That, and remember the little coffee shop I used to go that was right down the street from the hotel? And there was a tiny little guy, and he had a little tiny coffee shop that could barely fit like 2 people in. It was called Harry's Cafe. And he was just a little, like, munchkin of a guy. And he had one of them little fez hats on or and I used to go down there every morning and have a coffee. And I was like, can you make me an omelet? And he's like, well, I'd really like to make an omelet, but those fucking Indians, they didn't let the gas come in. So we have no gas. I can't make you any breakfast. Remember that? You don't remember, do you?
No.
If I showed you the video of the guy, you might remember. He was just a little smurf of a guy. Thank you to whoever. I can't see any super chats coming. Oh, download. Thank you. Found some more money for Chuck's coconut water. Chuck's got coconut water in his head. That was funny.
Oh man, the dessert here is so good. I gotta try the chocolate cake, but not.
Yeah, I've had enough desserts.
I still feel very well wired. From the
Yeah,
coffee and
I'm relaxed. We've had a long stream today. The stream will be over in, I give it no more than 16 minutes. But, it feels like time has just passed very quickly. Maybe it's because I'm sitting here yapping with Chucky and I haven't talked to him in person in quite some time. I don't know. It's what happens when I meet up with people in coffee shops. Chinatown, been there, done that, but I'll be checking out that new Clone walking path there. Well, there's a lot of places in Chinatown that you can go that you probably you might not really know. It happens all the time where I just happen to I just stumble onto a place and I'm like, how come I never saw this? It was like, if I had just taken a left instead of a right, I would be in this place. Now, something I need to do, Chuck, and I've been putting it off, is I need to go to that same guy who fixed the drone and get him to fix the controller again. It's the same thing that goes wrong. If they get dry, the little thing inside, they have to heat it up and move it around. It's some chip. It will. Other than that, the thing, it'll work fine. Although I'm telling you, Bo has been pushing me lately. When are you going to get the GoPro? When are you going to get a drone that isn't like, the size of a small house? That kind of stuff. And I'm like, fucking A, man. Now she's getting pushy.
Those Mavic Mini 2s are cool.
How much are they?
$500-600.
So it's probably
It's actually a
20,000.
better camera than the one that you own.
Uh-huh.
But the only disadvantage, the advantage is in USA, because of its weight, it doesn't need to be registered. I don't know what the law is in Thailand. It's less than half a pound. So it's
Yeah,
not
I think
considered
it does
a
need to be registered here. I just saw something about how the drones now, like if it flies and it has a camera on it, you have to have it registered. This guy says, what is it here? Steven, ripped jeans and long sleeve gloves equals paradise. Actually, you know what equals paradise? To me, I'll be honest. When I first came here, I had a little friend, and she always used to wear this bikini. And it was not too big and not too small. Definitely not too big. But it wasn't so small that, it was kind of like, oh, come on. Why not just give her a little piece of duct tape to stick on her asshole and her vajayjay and to cover her nipples? No, it wasn't that small. But she used to wear this bikini all the time. And actually, I was in Pattaya, staying at I think it was the cliff, what is it, the Royal Cliff or something like that. And we were swimming every day in the pool and going to the beach and getting drunk at night and doing all kinds of stuff like that. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this place it's the best. And I got this chick, look at her in that bikini, and I was like, it was the best. That was almost 28 years ago. But how long can that last? I can only get drunk so many days in a row, and the next thing, and then what happens is I'm like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I'm too hungover. Chucky, why are you closing your arms? You look like you're standoffish.
Because I'm cold.
You look like you're standoffish.
That's because I've been cold the whole time.
You look like don't come near me or I'm gonna kick your ass.
But it's actually starting to feel better, so I'll be back home.
Again? Chucky's got bladder issues. We got 2 people plus me, plus the 2 employees are having breakfast or lunch. They're on their lunch break. Now another guy just came in. You know what? I should tell him to do a test run of the bum gun. I can't imagine this place having a filthy Hong Nam. I'm sure it's quite nice. I think the last time I was drunk was when I was drinking tequila at home. I don't know. I haven't drank in quite some time. I got a what the hell's that beer? It's the one Jono likes. I can't remember. God damn it. They have a light one. Is it the Filipino beer or what the hell is it? What is that beer? God damn it. It's not a Thai beer. I got one beer, San Miguel. Thank you, Gennaro. I was trying to think of the name of the beer. I got one beer in my refrigerator. Actually, there's a big bottle of Heineken that my wife opened up about 6 months ago, and she drank about half of it. And it's been sitting in there since then, so I'm sure it's flat and no good. She got the top on it, but it doesn't stay. Now I have a San Miguel in the refrigerator, and I've been thinking I should have that beer. I should have that beer. I should have that beer. And every day I just go, maybe later. But I think maybe today when I go home I'll have it with dinner. You're too nice, Gennaro. I was gonna make him suffer. Yeah, it's because you're a bastard, Longhorns. You'd make me suffer. San Miguel. And Jono likes San Miguel light. I like the regular old San Miguel. I don't like the light stuff. I like heavy stuff. I like Guinness. I'm gonna sort out I'm sort of gone on beer. I like my gin and tonic. Longhorns. Anyway. I need my glasses here. Can't see. The beard is coming back. I don't know for how long. And you know why? Laziness. Chucky, how long are you in town?
I don't know. It just depends on what's going on.
I don't know. It depends on how long you.
If they shut down more, I'll go back. But I could stay for 3 months.
They're not going to shut down more at this point. So Chucky might be game for the Phuket. I have to think about that again. Think about what I want to do there. I'm going to have a purpose. Besides walking around and just,
So what are the rules for us?
it wouldn't be, there ain't no rules. You just go. Now, they may ask you for your vaccination paperwork at a hotel or something, but other than that, I don't think they're going to do anything. The beach massage toenail cutter ladies wear. Chucky and you in a rubber. With a rubber ducky. Are you interested in rafting, Chucky?
Yeah, as long as I don't get killed. Cool.
We might. Take Chuck on the riverboat trip. If I want him to have his own kayak, and I want to be in my own kayak. That's what I want. Or you can be with the guide. You can have a cute little Thai guy maybe serving you there. He can. I wonder if I get the 45 days that I put that on the what? I wonder if I get the 45 days that I put on Thai Pass. I believe you get whatever the maximum is. They don't give you what you write down. So if you get the Thailand Pass, you get what, 2 months?
1 month.
1 month.
Yeah, 30 days.
And then you got to extend.
I guess you can extend.
Yeah,
but
you can extend.
I have the visa. Similar to the
Yeah, for how long?
visa. It's 60 days.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you.
So my stamp
60
My
days.
stamp right now says March 12th. But I can extend that for.
That's a tourist visa.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a tourist visa, so that's not the on entry or whatever.
Are they doing the retirement visas now?
I don't. Yes, they are. They're doing it. It's not nearly as difficult as you think. It's just that it's like you got 20 things to do, and you don't want to do any of them, but you have to.
You just go step by step.
You go step by step, and you
realize,
get them
I'm
done. Yeah.
Like example, one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
weird things they want from you is they want you to take a picture holding your.
I'm not taking a picture of that,
passport
Chuck.
with, like,
I refuse.
That's what you gotta do.
No starfish pictures.
You gotta take a picture with yourself holding your passport.
Really?
Yes.
I hate that when they do that. I don't like that when they do that. I never do. And there's certain websites that will say, oh, for us to verify you, please take a picture of your face with your passport. You're holding it up like this, and you're trying to fit into the picture and not be too close. And then it's like, we're sorry, we could not read your passport.
I sent him one like this.
Wait a minute, hold that pose. What was it like?
My picture was like this. This is my passport, right? And I went like this. They accepted it.
I went wonder if they knew your sexuality. Think they figured it out? They knew right away.
They accepted it. So, but they actually did it really fast. They said it takes 7 days to
And for you, they did it in 4 hours.
It took me like a day and a half.
Going down the rapids, Chucky squealing and Chuck saying, "Oh fuck, stop acting like a child." Now, that sounds about right, Stephen. Stop squirming like a little kid. Stop. I don't want to hear you. You sound like a freaking. I'm not gonna say it. And Chucko getting Scotty to unleash his inner daddy bear. As Chuck squeals like a pig. But just the thing is Chuck will make sure he gets the cute little kayak guide, and me, I'll be like, what the hell? I want my old lady on the boat, man. I don't want no guide. Chucky's ready. I think we should go out on the ocean kayaks. That's what we should do. That way we can take our time. We don't need no stinking guide. We just go out. You get one near one of the islands and you just go, you know. It's either that or it's like the river trip in Deliverance.
So the river trip you did before somewhere, right?
Reenactment of Deliverance. And Chuck will be playing the guitar. He'll be like the one the one guy. Who was the other guy who played for, was it Ned Beatty who played the guitar, the banjo? I forget who was one of the four guys who played the banjo, and then there was the kid with the googly eyes. You never saw that part? Remember that? You don't remember the dueling banjos? Captain Scott at the helm, Thai guy at the rudder, Chuck in the fetal position with the Thai guy behind him. I don't know if he'll like that or not. I don't know. It doesn't matter what's going on in the back of the boat. I don't want to know. Although it does matter because I don't want to hear it or see it I don't want to see a glimpse of it out of the corner of my eye. Can't do that. I don't know, Chuck. I don't know if you can make it down the river.
Why do you think?
I don't know, you know. It's dangerous.
Is it really dangerous?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're going.
Yeah.
And it's not like you would be captaining the raft, or me. I wouldn't. If it was a kayak and it was an easy river, that's no
Not
problem.
a swim.
I understand,
I'm a very good swimmer.
but you know, it depends on the current of the river.
If it's run on the raft, that could be a problem.
Samui or Kochang? Oh God, Gennaro, you're terrible. For me, I would say Samui. Because it's in the south. I like the islands better there. It's farther south. Take Chuck to the temple in the mountains. The Tiger Temple. That's in Krabi.
I haven't been to Krabi
Been there,
before,
done
so-
that. I tell you what, I liked Riley a lot. Great island. Patia Bob, that's the reenactment scene. What are we talking about here? Where? What is Patia Bob talking about? I missed it. I must have missed it. I don't know.
I liked it when Pati Bob shows surroundings.
Bareback Mountain? Oh. Listen, I don't even want to film that. Ronnie Cox was the guy who played the guitar. That's right. Thank you, Patia Bob. That's right, tall, skinny guy. Apparently that kid he made like fuck all for that movie. They paid him dog shit for the movie. Yeah, a bunch of sickos, Longhorns, I agree. All they're talking about is Brokeback Mountain shit. The banjo was the kid, is that what it was? I thought they both had banjos. Bareback rafting.
Do you know what?
I don't want to know. Please don't tell me. Allow me to remain naive. Jesus Christ. All right. I think we're about done here, ladies and gents. Please give Bum Gun Chuck a rousing round of applause. Thank you, Chucky. Clap your hands, put your hands together, and give Chucky a big round of applause. Yeah, thank you, Chucky, for being here, being live.
It feels like the pandemic is ending because, you know, we're able to do this live together.
Yeah, I guess.
That's how it feels like.
I don't like any rules.
Right.
When all the rules are gone, then I'll say, okay, we're done. Until then, I still feel like, you know, there's too many rules. You're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. That's how I feel all the time, you know? Even with the Thai government or the U.S. government, or I don't want to hear about it. All right, you're getting your round of applause, Chucky. And thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Appreciate the views. Appreciate the comments. Leave a thumbs up. You want to help support the channel? Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe. Let's get the camera on the real superstar here, not the
I think the real
not Bum Gun Chucky, who has yet to use his bum gun.
The real superstar is the cheesecake.
Yeah, that was the superstar. The cheesecake was fantastic. If you want to have a good piece of cheesecake, Carlos, you got to come to this place. You ain't gonna find any better. But anyway, let me continue. If you want to help with the channel, just leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And then go down in the description. You got the PayPal, the Cash App, Patreon. You got the members thing in YouTube. Got the T-shirts. Got the books. There's many ways. That's right. Carlos is on the surgery as of this morning. Let's wish him well. He's on the, I don't know, he's probably off the table now. Thank you so much there, Mr. Monash. I'll remember that. He's got a fucking picture of a bear. You're a fucker, Chuck. Anyway, thank you very much. And I don't know when we'll be, I don't know where I'll be or what I'll be doing next. No fucking idea. I haven't got a clue. Listen, I've really been trying to get my shit together and organize things. I don't know, maybe it's not in my nature. As Nanda from Myanmar used to say, you have a good nature. Well, maybe I got a nature that says there we go, reconnect. All right, later, folks. We'll talk to you later. Some kind of sporadic internet here. Thank you, and until next time, choke D and all that good stuff, all right? Das Vidanya, or whatever that means. Later.